This is the KoperCrabb Podcast.
I'm Cheney Crab.
I am Naveen Copperweiss.
If you guys want to pick up merch, go to our Big Cartel. It's at the link in our description. Like, subscribe. If you want to hit us up with some questions for the podcast, our email is KoperCrabbPodcast@gmail.com.
Say a word.
All
right, we got some super sick guests on the show tonight.
Jared, Chance.
What's
this is our first four-person podcast.
Yeah.
Cheers, you guys.
Hello, hello.
Cheers.
Salute. Go ahead and crack that. Yeah, there's a whole fucking gang of people here. And you guys can't see it, but we have a pot full of Bud Light seltzer. So
Like a cooking pot.
So
yeah,
this will be
we'll
fun.
see
Yeah,
what
it's
happens.
a legitimate cooking pot. That's all that I could find in our cabinets.
It works.
Cool.
It's metal, literally.
I wouldn't even
literally metal.
True that.
But yeah, these are our boys from Arkaik, I guess.
Well-
Chance is formerly of Arkaik.
No, I'm still like, I still do stuff. I still write a lot of the lyrics and
Oh, do you?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
I'm,
Okay. So you still are involved.
I'm in the band. I just switched roles.
Instruments.
Yeah, roles. Yeah.
So you started the band together?
Yeah.
It was just the two of you, or there were other people involved when you started the band?
I mean, there was like people we knew in high school, but
Okay.
It was
yeah.
mainly like our endeavor that we like kind of we formed it. We were guitar buddies, played guitar together,
Okay.
Word.
and
Okay.
got into metal together. And then eventually we're like, we should start a band.
I was
For
always
sure.
trying to get Jared to start a band.
Okay.
From
Okay.
the
That's kind of
first time
ironic.
I
That's
met
kind of
him.
ironic that you were trying to get him to start the band, and Jared's the one who plays in the band still, right?
Yeah.
But so what made you want to stop playing in the band?
I'm lazy. Like legit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if it was, I feel like I said this a ton of times, but if it was like a sludge metal band, I'd still play guitar for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're not
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to keep up on the whole DM chops.
Nah, I was never that.
That kind of
Yeah,
vibe.
no, I was no like, and so I just didn't have the discipline that I needed to be an ultra shredder that Arkaik eventually had to have, and I was
Totally.
like, oh well, they might as well get somebody that can fill that role.
Okay.
You should give yourself some credit because you, at a point in time, you were on, top of your game and you were shredding and
Yeah, it's not like you suck at guitar.
No, I'm a proficient
It's
guitar
just
player,
like
but I'm not like ultra tech death, face melting shred level,
Well, I feel like, I mean, I
Which
don't.
is kind of how I would characterize Arkaik's music.
right, right.
it's hard. Like,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you,
I would
you have
imagine.
you have to like practice
Totally.
your guitar all the time. Like you have to be obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't actually ask you this, so I don't know if I'll cut this out if it's not cool. But we have heard the new album.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
sick. Yeah, it's definitely not like a casual.
I didn't know you guys heard it. I sent Cheney the link.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
listened
You guys-
to it. We
Nice.
listened
Yeah,
to
I've heard it
It's
twice.
like-
Cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
we
good.
listened to it earlier
Good
today.
shit. So did you have anything to do with that?
Yeah.
Chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, every album they've put out, I've written at least 80% of the lyrics. Jared's definitely contributing way more nowadays because he's just getting really good at writing lyrics.
It's
as well.
probably like
really?
a 70-30
Yeah.
on this new one.
Okay.
Okay, that you're writing 30 and you're writing 70?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So do
okay.
you-
Yeah, I did not know that.
And
I thought Chance was like out of the band. I thought you were
No,
history.
I knew that you
Well,
were still
also
kind of-
he does all the sound design, all the weird noises
Okay.
and kind of
Gotcha,
classic
okay.
thing that we do.
Yeah.
That's all
Okay.
Chance. It's
Okay,
always
cool.
been Chance too.
Gotcha.
So
Because there are also some like kind of electronic keyboard parts and stuff. So you do that too. Then
Some of it, yeah. Two of the synthy parts on the new album I did, and then there was some other stuff that I think Alex
Guitar
wrote, and then they did in the studio. But yeah, I added some keys on this album, and all the psychedelic noise, sound design interludes are me, and they've had those on pretty much every album. Maybe some less than others, but I've contributed.
for sure.
I've contributed pretty
Yeah,
much to
he's-
every single album.
he's a part of every album.
Okay.
Probably
Okay.
always
Okay.
will be because we have a good workworkflow.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
For sure.
And we share the same vision,
Totally.
like, I still love the band, and I still really like death metal. I just don't practice guitar enough
Well,
to play
totally.
guitar
I mean,
for it, so.
don't you? I feel like that is kind of a thing. People,
I feel it.
that is a thing that people are able to do nowadays. Is be a part of bands that they don't ever tour in.
Mhm.
It's not unheard of. I mean, we went on tour with Rings of Saturn, and that's
That's
main
weird though.
songwriter
That's
dude wasn't
that's
there.
different though.
Yeah,
like,
that's like kind of weird.
because he's sort of the guy of the band, and he like it's not like he's like, oh, I'm like not playing guitar that much anymore, so I'm gonna program everything and like I don't know.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but still, it's like it is being a part of a band and not going on tour with it.
Yeah,
with it.
I'd go on tour with Arkaik if Arkaik gets to the point where they could, they'd pay me too. I would do all the keys and sounds and all the introduce like live. I'd be like their DJ Lethal.
Okay,
that would be sick.
That would be cool. That would be cool. But yeah, another thing that about you, Chance, is that when I first met you, I was like, wow, this guy's. I thought you were really cool for starters. I was like, this guy's pretty cool.
You're really cool.
But that's because I was like, okay, he was in a metal band, and then you started making electronic music.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of into like weird philosophical stuff that we were kind of talking about, and I was like, dang, that's pretty cool. So it's kind of like my path in a way. Like I was in Animals, I quit to make electronic music. Somewhat of a trippy guy, I guess you could say. But so you make electronic music too, though. That's that's the long-winded version of that.
Yeah, that's my main project is my bass music project. I started getting into that too around the time that Arkaik was like starting to tour too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I want to make drum and bass too, because I don't know, we started going to death metal shows, and I stared going to raves at like the same time. So I like my love for like electronic music and metal like grew simultaneously, like hand in hand. And so I was like, I always wanted to take a stab at making electronic music, and then that's super fun. I fell in love with that too, which is fun having a one-man project, really, because two-man project, because you don't have to rely on other people, and being in a band, you deal with trippy people, flaky people,
dude, all the time. Well, especially because you brought up, it's hard to play the type of music that we play. So finding those type of people, it's a very niche thing.
I know.
So just those people in general, you're bound to find some weirdos doing it. It only makes sense.
I mean, that's definitely.
Or also people who like I'm so like good at my instrument that like they should be getting paid
a ton of money.
Yeah,
that's
like
kind of,
for the skill level, they should be like getting us, or like it just doesn't make sense. So they're like, it's tough. Like you're like, I spend so much time and energy like getting my craft to this like certain level, and then our genre is like an underground genre.
Totally.
That's exactly kind of what we're facing. It's kind of like, all right, because we're like mid-30s too now. So
so
I'm like, I don't really want like a 20-year-old like on tour. No dissed 20-year-olds, but it's like,
it is.
You know what I'm saying? 20-year-olds kind of annoying, compared to like people who are in their 30s.
Yeah. I was way annoying in my 30s.
I was too. So, I was awful.
Probably me too.
That's just youth, man.
Like. So now it's like, okay, we're trying to find somebody who's like, people to play live with us and stuff. And I'm like,
who are in their mid 30s and play
and
really
are good enough
music.
to play it all, and it's not like a whole lot of money going around. It's like almost impossible.
Pretty damn near it.
And so it seems like there's an endless supply of like early 20s like sick musicians. Like every death metal band ever, even like some of the old ones are like, well, I'm like, if I still want to have my project,
they're getting 20-year-olds.
Like 20-year-old like death metal prodigies. Like like you don't there's no short supply.
You don't have a family to support. Like you can go out there and do it, and it's cool. But at the same time, there's so much that you learn from like touring, like over the years and stuff. That there's like definitely, if you've toured a lot, and then you tour with somebody who's like their first tour, maybe their second tour or something like that, they like it's just like a different thing.
Absolutely.
You're kind of like, after you do it a while, you're kind of like, oh, well, we should like make the most out of this. So you got to kind of count the numbers, and you do all the business stuff that's like not super fun.
Yeah, there's a skill set you learn, like doing anything for a long period of time. 100%. So someone who's like wet behind the ears, there's like a whole.
Let's just go rip it, dude,
and let's get fucking hammered every single night. What? There's another 18-pack of Budweiser for free again. Oh, let's drink them all.
It's like, oh, who fucking cares about how much money we make? Like, and. It's there is a huge difference in the counting the numbers type and the person who's just out there to like have hella fun,
play in front of people.
And honestly, Cheney and I aren't really that concerned with like making hella money. You know what I mean? It's just
not at all.
It's just a certain amount of money that needs to be generated in order for it to happen.
To not go red.
Yeah, and to be able to pay for your merch.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will just never pay their merch bill.
Yeah,
which is messed up.
Yeah, like
Dude,
we don't borrow on
we would
anything.
never
like,
do
we
that.
Just,
You pay
we don't
outright
Yeah,
first.
like Entheos is in zero territory.
Yeah, we
don't pay
our
outright
merch.
first. We will take it.
Yeah.
But
that is what we want to do, though, and is in the future is pay outright first.
Yeah,
That's
That's the way to go.
Yeah, we're trying to get to
'Cause then
everything
you
is
know-
paid for before we go on tour.
Yeah.
Cover all overhead. So
Yeah.
then.
Well, and then you're
Because
not
then you just pay
screwing-
yourself back. And
Exactly.
you don't have somebody like waiting for a bill.
Yeah, because that feels horrible too, having someone who you know you owe money to, and it's like that person actually needs that money to pay the people that work for them, and it's an endless like line.
I remember we had a snafu.
I've been there.
On the Cannibal tour. With that whole situation, because when we went on tour with Black Dahlia Murder, we had all our bright psychedelic shit, and Dahlia's fan base is super young, and they were like, "Yeah, dude, like we love that bright shit." And then so we were like, "Let's re-up again on all that stuff." It did so good, and when we went to the Cannibal tour,
Were you guys toured with Cannibal?
yeah,
Oh, that's so sick. I think you were talking about it
Third
last
tour.
weekend. It's
Yeah.
the first time I heard. That's so sick.
Well, who else was on the tour?
Exhumed and
Abysmal
Abysmal
Dawn.
Dawn.
Band-Aid.
but
That's sick.
That's legit.
the
Nice.
Cannibal crowd, they like their shirts. Like
We had no
bla-
idea what we were
red-
doing though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like their shirts blood splattered.
Yeah, and simple
And
like-
white
and they wanted
and
to say
white.
something like "cut the bitch's
Totally.
face," you know, like. And we like no disrespect to that, you know, but they didn't vibe on our merch, and we went out there like, dude, we're gonna sell so much merch, it's great, and we didn't sell shit, and came back in debt with a bunch of merch on our hands, and we're like, wow, I guess we should definitely know our market,
Dude, totally.
Well, also,
That-
those bright designs are like $9 a T-shirt,
Right.
or
a hoodie,
one
that'll
color.
be like 15.
Yeah.
You know? And you don't want to charge like $50 for a hoodie, even though that's what you should be charging. So it's like the catch-22 of all of that shit. You know what I mean? But it's funny that you bring that up, because that is something that you learn the more tours that you go on, that you have to play. Even the merch, you got to play to the
You got to think
crowd.
about that.
and you got to go like you might not have to, but you tend to go through something like that in order to learn that.
You really do.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really just
You don't know.
figure
Well,
that out.
we didn't know. How do you know?
So how long ago was that you did that tour?
2012.
Okay. All right.
Oh, damn.
So what album was Cannibal
That's like
on?
almost
you
10
guys-
years ago.
I just like love Cannibal, so that's like what I want to talk about.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought I should bring up, I have poison oak in case anyone sees this bandage
yeah.
on my face, because
Shane's
it's
looking
really
kinda-
weird. I'm not,
She's looking
Yeah.
kind of weird.
I think that
Speaking
my
of
cat went
cannibal
outside
songs.
and rubbed up on poison oak
Oh.
and got it on my face.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
what
we
Jared
almost-
told
you
me.
can't see
I
the
have the
Band-Aid.
cat theory. Yeah.
we
I think it was a
almost
cat.
canceled it.
Jared came up
Shani
with
was
the
like,
cat
"Oh, we're gonna
theory."
cancel the podcast." because
Yeah,
of,
that's why we tried
We
to
almost
cancel it early.
rescheduled.
Yeah. But then there was no rescheduling because
Yeah.
we're moving.
I know.
So we're-
So
Yeah. I
let's
was like,
just
can we
do
do
it.
this?
No, I wanted to hang out with you guys so badly that I was like, I'll do anything. A Band-Aid.
Hell
All
yeah.
right. Yeah.
You
But
can't tell.
anyways.
You can't
We
tell.
appreciate it.
From what I see on the screen, you look like you got. It's just you got.
Thank you.
You got
It's
great
just
skin.
yeah.
You moisturize, don't you?
Yeah, all right. So damn, Cannibal tour. That's amazing because that's like
I know, that's the dream.
that's my dream.
What-
to
how did you
go on
feel
tour
when
with
you got the Cannibal
that's
offer?
Like really
Oh.
sick.
That was
Surreal.
insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
surreal. One
Yeah.
of those like life moments where you're like, wow, this is like happening. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
it's all happening.
They're like
It's
the top
transcendental.
of the death metal
totally.
Dude.
world.
yeah.
But that's kind of funny though, because in reality, you did the tour and it was probably fun and everything. But then you get home, and you have like a bunch of old unsold merch,
Yeah.
and like hella debt.
And
you're like,
yeah,
fucked.
it's like sick.
Yeah.
And the money the cash that we did have in our pockets, it wasn't a lot, but we had to give all of it to our manager.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot
no.
we did that with
What?
Nice.
Wait,
The
you
the
gave your
mange
merch?
cut.
You gave your merch money to your management?
and
and guarantees.
guarantee. It was like
What?
10% of
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That was not a
That
good
was
thing.
that was our
was
first
another
and
learning.
last experience with the manager so far.
Learning the hard way is like the best teacher, but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Tuition payment.
We had
Yeah.
some the morale after that was such a high of doing that tour, and then when we got back it was like such a low. And then we did a tour with Severed Savior like maybe a month after that, and that tour was they're completely different leagues of
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that was like, it was like going from like this, this milestone, and then kind of going nothing bad about Severed Savior. They're like literally one of my favorite bands ever.
And that's how we made friends with Anthony.
For me, it was the funnest tour, but it was like so different.
Yeah.
You went from the big time to kind of like, minor leagues.
Sometimes there aren't a ton of people showing up to the show.
Yeah. And I mean, that is something cool that you like brought up, because I was actually talking to somebody about this other night, and he was kind of like talking about how he was, filling in for this huge band, and now he's in the small band, this, that, and the other thing. And I was just kind of like, yeah, man, like that's music.
Yeah.
Like that's the main takeaway in music. You're going to be
there are peaks and valleys.
And I think me and Jared, it didn't really, we had mentally prepared for that since the beginning, that we knew we were in death metal.
We had no business touring with Cannibal Corpse on our third tour.
First
Severed tour was where we were supposed to be.
Yeah.
To me, it was like, okay, well, we got to do these tours. We got to play as much as we can.
Yeah. Take whatever we can get, and eventually.
This is a bucket list thing for me, touring with Severed Savior.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I think for a couple other people in the band, it was like a little kind of downslope where they were kind of like thinking they're going up.
Yeah.
Or they should.
That's just not.
Well, you went from a peak to a valley, that's just life.
Well, some people can take it and some people just can't deal with it.
Right.
Take it from me. All right. I've been in like a bunch of big bands, gone up and down. It's just.
What bands are you in?
That's the only.
Were you in?
I was. That's just how it is. Like that's the most consistent thing about music.
Yeah.
Is like, so when you get one of those highs, it's like, just be like, this is sick. I'm riding on this high right now, baby. But then you're going back to.
You still got to grind.
Totally.
And that was the thing that like, just because you get one big tour doesn't mean your band is going to blow up and everybody's going to love
Not
you.
at all.
Hell no.
But those big tours help you with momentum when you're when you're in the downward slope. So that way when you get back up, you're still running hard.
But also another thing to keep in mind is that those tours always come. If you just keep doing the band thing and you don't give up, those kind of tours, if you get one, you're going to get a million of them. They always come.
Yep.
But the other tours come as well. It's just a matter of, do you want to go and do this? I mean, sometimes, honestly, we've done even better on smaller tours because it's like there are a lot of people who are just there to see us who wouldn't go to see like a bigger band. Totally. It's so something may seem like not as sick, but it actually can work itself out in the long run. I mean, you could go on the Cannibal tour and make no money in merch and go on Severed Savior and make $1,000 every night if you've got like the right thing going on,
Well, the other thing that I in hindsight that I see now, and I have a small pool of Arkaik touring experience to draw from, so I'm gonna probably be making the same references all night.
Because that Severed Savior tour was your last tour, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
really?
we got Cannibal, Severed Savior, and there's two
it
others.
was Dahlia, Black Dahlia Murder.
Okay, yeah.
And that's why.
And Brain Drill.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
sick.
Brain Drill was our first tour in 2010. And we had our first album on Unique Leader. And so we went with Brain Drill, Flesh Consumed,
Halo of Gunfire.
Halo of Gunfire.
That was your first tour?
Yeah.
That must be, I wonder if do you remember playing Des Moines on that tour?
I think we did.
I know that I saw you guys like way back in the day, but I didn't realize it was 2010. I thought it was like 09 or 08, but
2010 was back
It
in
had
the
to
day.
have been 2010.
yeah, for sure.
Think about it, really.
I guess 2010 is back in the day. Fuck.
That's crazy.
Well, we had never
But yeah.
been to Des Moines before that.
Okay, yeah, I was probably definitely at that show.
So was that your first tour for you?
The first Arkaik tour was Brain Drill. And
I know, but like, had you done any touring
No.
before that? No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, just grinding
This
kind
is-
of on
yeah,
the local
we-
circuit.
Oh, sick.
This is like the band that me and Chance started in high school. And then when we got out of high school, we got like some more serious, better players. And then we played a bunch of local shows in Southern California. And
Oh yeah. Because you guys are from SoCal.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
We kind of got, it was kind of a blessing that where we kind of grew up too, because we got the opportunity to open for a bunch of awesome bands because of,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
because of,
Didn't you guys play with Animosity?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was our
That was-
first big show.
Yeah. We
Oh,
filmed
wow.
a video at that show.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, dude, back in the day, like in those days, there were a ton of sick bands coming from California.
Oh, yeah.
Like so many bands that I loved were from California.
That's what kind of made
the
us
whole unique leader thing.
Yeah,
we somehow got introduced to that. Unique leader, Deeds of Flesh,
Decrepit, Odious, Vile.
And then it was like game over. Like that's the style of music we wanted to do.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
It was like super impressive and also super brutal.
Great riffs.
Great riffs.
Yeah.
Great
Enough
riffs.
chunk and groove to be like nod your
drums
head.
were
But
just
That it's
stupid.
not like too confusing. It's just groove.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ultimate groove.
well, that's what made us
Death
think we were
metal.
like we could do this because one, these bands are always coming around. We were seeing unique leader bands like once every couple months at like the Showcase Theater in Corona.
Okay,
Rest
so
in
that
Peace.
was like where your guys' venue was. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
where-
yeah,
and-
that's where you did the Animosity show, right? Or
Yeah.
who else played that one?
Job for a Cowboy.
Job for a Cowboy
And
6 Feet Under. And I think
Okay.
Sworn Enemy.
Shit.
Sworn Enemy.
Was 6 Feet Under headlining?
I think so.
Definitely,
wow.
definitely. It was their tour. It was their tour. Yeah.
Wow.
It was
Sick.
6 Feet Under and, like I said, Job for Cowboy. Job for Cowboy was their first run. They were like dead first.
Dude, just
Whoa.
blown off of MySpace. Just
Totally.
Yeah.
yeah.
Off those
People
reeds.
are
Totally.
all about.
They actually weren't
Dude,
on the
yeah.
whole tour. They were only on like a regional dates. That's what we call that in the industry.
Is that business talk? Are you doing business talk?
They were
Regionals.
regional dates. They were only on
Regionals.
for like a week, and then they did. But we were already friends with them for sure. And then
Where were they from?
Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, Arizona. And then they did.
That's the cowboy part, right? Does that have anything to do
I don't
with
know.
like the
I don't
desert?
know. I actually don't
Where
know.
does the name come from?
I actually don't know.
Ironic humor.
I don't know. I know that Johnny.
Sorry, I don't know anything about ironic.
I know Johnny does listen to the podcast, so I always mention stuff about
where
him.
does
make
the
fun of
name
him
Job
and-
for a Cowboy come from?
JFAC.
Yeah.
Or was it meant to be JFAC all along?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. In the
But-
comments, if you know the answer, in the comments, drop
And
the answer.
Yeah.
like,
Drop the answer.
subscribe, drop the answer.
Actually, I think he did tell me at some point, but I just.
There was a lot of those
listening.
bands that kind of came up in the deathcore thing that kind of just were silly to be like on purpose. I think it was kind of like they were like trying to take the piss out of like how brutal metal
And
was.
serious.
and
Yeah.
serious, and they were
Yeah.
like, but what like didn't they? I don't know if this is true, and I don't know who I was talking to about it, but didn't they like not even expect anything to happen from that like demo that they put out?
Probably,
and that's why they did it so goofy. And then it just that like.
Yeah.
What's that one song that blew them up? That's like
Entombment.
Entombment, yeah, Entombment. Yeah.
I mean, dude, most people, the only part that they knew was the snare part.
Yeah,
the
with the
scream
scream
part.
and the reet, and then it blew up, which is why, like, later on in their career, they got really sick.
Yeah,
I remember seeing them
Dude.
open up for another band, and I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
wow, like,
Johnny is one of
Yeah.
my favorite vocalists
Yeah,
in the
he's
entire
insane.
game.
and they went
He's
tech
incredible.
death, and someone was talking. Oh, never mind, I don't want to say anything about them because I don't know them, and I'm sure they're cool guys. But someone said
No, you
that's,
can make fun of them on the
no,
podcast.
not even making
It's
fun
chill.
of them, but that like that choice to like actually be like, let's take this seriously and do tech death is what made them like kind of not,
Yeah, totally.
Well,
100%,
but-
100%.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, because
Sure. Everybody just wanted the like the core like the
Death-
I don't want to the more
Well-
deathcore ish
Yeah.
stuff, but they wanted to be more an actual death metal band.
Yeah.
because
They're really sick
Yeah,
at.
they're
and
really-
Yeah,
super
they were-
underrated.
They were
at.
really good. They're like later shit.
Yeah, yeah.
We saw them open up for probably Suffocation or something in San Diego at the House of Blues or something, and I remember like seeing them and going like, "Wow, these guys take it seriously now." Like
Totally.
like,
Yeah.
this is what they probably wanted to do all along. And then imagine that though. Imagine like if that's what you wanted to do, and your little goof like blew up, and you're like,
Yeah.
now then you're always in the shadow of that goof.
Yeah.
Not that was bad. I like.
No, I know.
the
No
EP was
disrespect
totally
to Job for a
killer.
Cowboy at all.
Yeah,
No,
but-
for sure.
well, it was. It was really good songwriting
Yeah,
and
totally.
and,
It's
like what people wanted at the time. They're
Yeah,
just-
it was good.
and still,
That's why people
I'm
liked it.
surprised the open note breakdown is still living like today.
It's just syncopated now. That I'm like.
Oh yeah, it's
Gent-
more
gent.
gent. It's more gent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, Shane and I were actually talking about this the other day, and we were like, "Is gent the newest metal genre?"
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's. I think so, right?
Yeah.
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 Where will it go next?
But I don't know.
Will it?
I've always been more of a death metal guy, so gent's like I don't know. I never got into it.
Yeah.
To be
I always
honest.
thought
I only got into
know about
Meshuggah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
was my gent.
Yeah.
Meshuggah
That's
and
as much
Frederick
gent as I
Thorndale's
honestly
special
need.
defects. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
gent. That's
I really only
ex-gent.
know as much as I do about it because I was in Animals and they're like associated with the whole gent thing.
Yeah.
But if it was, I don't know. I mean, it's cool, I guess, from like a drummer standpoint. You know, like it's like polyrhythms and all that stuff.
It's got and it's groovy. You
Yeah.
can like some of it.
It is groovy.
but it's also
I like riffs
And
that are
it's
like, you know,
Yeah, I
I
like pummeling fucking death metal.
Yeah,
I like that too.
I like
yeah, and
death
like
metal.
with the Gent thing, it borders on like mainstream music, which is like,
well, like
I'm not
Periphery.
knocking it.
They're
Yeah.
they're like the Gent Linkin Park. Like
Totally, and I actually really like Periphery.
Yeah.
You know? But like, it borders on like regular music. you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
not
standard
extreme.
genre
Yeah,
business.
yeah. So like when I hear death metal, I'm like, okay, there we go. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
But it also
You know,
it's
it's just-
such a
like some Gent is too likable. Like
Yeah.
where's the
Yeah.
unlikability in
Yeah.
this?
yeah. Like you're
exactly.
never gonna hear like.
Where is
You're never gonna hear like like on the radio. You know, it's
No.
not gonna
No.
happen. It's like never gonna happen.
that's true.
You know? So,
But-
yeah.
or those like glung glung glang glung 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 glang glung.
Yeah, never making it to Kiss
So, I
107
mean,
FM.
So that's what's like. I think that's what's cool about Gent for sure. Is it kind of has a more. And that's why it's so big. It has a
making
more-
metal
yeah.
marketable.
Yeah, but and it
Which
borders
is not
on
a
like
bad thing for
No,
anybody doing
Yeah.
that.
Not at all.
I'm
not
not-
at all.
I'm not talking shit. It's just
No.
I have friends who do that, and that's
Yeah.
great. And I don't hate their music or anything. It's just not like what I would gravitate
like
to
I'm the weird one.
naturally.
Obviously, I'm the weird one.
and you can
I'm,
like shoehorn prog into a lot of it.
for
yeah,
sure.
but I love prog.
Yeah, so
that's
do I.
the thing is that I fucking love progressive music, but a lot of it. Sometimes things are called progressive that actually aren't progressive.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
it's like the progressive.
just because it's like really hard and like monotonous to listen to doesn't make it fucking progressive.
Yeah.
or it's like progressive the genre.
Yes,
Yeah.
because so I think what's his name from the punk rock MBA made like a point of like it can't be progressive if everyone is doing it because
Yeah.
there's no
what I'm
progression
saying.
of
Yeah,
the thing.
inherently progressive music is about making something that like doesn't necessarily it progresses the thing
Yeah,
that doesn't necessarily exist, and
Yeah.
that's not thing. There are things being called progressive that aren't like really
It's like
progressive.
Yeah.
It's like
They're kind of
prog
just the
or
same
whatever.
it's
thing.
well
that
progressive
other people
now
have
has an overall sound. So if you have an overall sound of what
Totally,
progressive bands
totally,
do,
totally.
like yeah, my band sounds like Dream Theater from 2001.
Yeah, it's like,
and
is
that
that
was considered progressive.
So,
So,
now
my
it's
sound
also
is progressive.
Yeah.
Is that progressive? I mean,
With
to
that
me,
being-
progressive is just like you're
if it's
doing
rehashing
something.
something that's not new,
Then is it
then it's not
progressive?
progressive.
It's
Yeah.
actually
I think
regressive.
progressive kind of-
They could call
yeah.
it reg
Yeah.
metal.
or like nutra metal.
Reg, it's like neutral. It's neutralizing the
Yeah,
genre.
it's nutra metal. It's the same thing.
reg rock.
Reg rock.
With
yeah.
that being said, I don't like hate.
Progressive
I don't
rock.
hate bands that do that. There are plenty of bands I listen to who just like are recycling the same shit over and over, and that's what I like about
Yeah.
them. So
The thing about Gent 2 is like the literal way it sounds is in the actual name. Like it just all kind of starts to like sound the same after a while.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
a bunch of like really low tuned, like syncopated like groove riffs, which sound cool like at like the end of the song
They
after a
sound
bunch of
good
gnarly shit. 'cause
live.
Yeah, yeah.
live, those
yeah.
bands, it's like
And
a
they're all
crowd
tone
pleaser.
junkies too. So you're like,
Totally.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's
they sound
unfair.
Really
it's
good.
like death metal like sounds terrible live, and like you know,
Not always. Not
Yeah,
always. I know what you mean though. Yeah, it's
like
like
50%, 60% of the time,
It's not
just not
fair.
gonna sound good.
it's
Yeah.
not fair that
We're
we
like
don't
trying to
wanna-
play all these crazy notes and shit. It's just like,
Yeah.
and they get up there and just
That is true.
Yeah.
and it's like
And it's
it
just
sounds-
super heavy.
Yeah.
well, that's
Yeah.
why
we went on
Fuck,
tour
that's
with
heavier than my
we went on
band.
tour with Monuments. You know,
Yeah.
it's like they just sounded so much better than us every night. Like there's just, you know, they had like a new Sastry on
Oh,
drums,
dude.
and it was just like this.
He
is,
killed it.
What the fuck,
He
man?
murdered.
This is unfair.
I loved watching them.
And we're up there trying
Yeah,
to like,
tone
you know,
junkies.
I don't know, do all this weird
Flashy.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
just,
like
it backfires.
let's
Yeah.
try to confuse everyone.
You guys have a good mix of flashy mixed with like groove.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I think that's your thing that you're doing is the groove. Like you definitely have that groove through the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
sure.
We're trying.
I think it's getting
yeah,
better. I think we're getting better
It's
at
like
like doing that and not
techie.
doing confusing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We're trying to confuse people. Well,
Yeah.
like we say we're trying to confuse people a little less, but then like when we're pretty deep into an album now, and when I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, this is just totally insane.
Yeah, it's like, are we trying to confuse people less? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
I tried to do that with our new album. I was like, there's the performance part when you write stuff that's really crazy. You end up not having any fun when you play it.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
stopped playing guitar.
Now it's like you're panicking because you're like you want to hit every note.
Yeah.
And like that's what people are like, or at least you think people are like
staring at you.
That you're gonna, are you,
when
is
in
he gonna hit that
reality,
sweet
like
arpeggio and
40%
really hit
of
that
them
note?
don't know,
don't know
what's
anything.
going
Yeah.
on. And if
Or
they
care.
do
Especially
know
if it's a
about
bad
your
mix that night.
yeah, it's like that's all they're thinking. This mix fucking sucks. They don't care how you play at all. You know?
But that stuff can be super boring to to sit and be like, okay, well, there's like 70 different time signatures in this song.
Yeah.
That they each play one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
And
a
there's
live setting, it can be really,
Nothing repeats.
Like,
Yeah. There's nothing to catch your ear on.
like I'm
It's
gonna go
just
get a
like-
beer.
I know.
I'm gonna go
I know.
smoke
and
a
that's
joint.
why death metal is more of like it just works better like listening to it in your car.
That's
or
what.
something like that.
But
Not-
if
not
we're
ju-
talking
yeah.
about like Cannibal, which
Yeah.
is the quintessential
Yeah.
death
Or
metal
Suffocation.
band,
Or Suffocation.
Suffo.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, their obituary. It's like you can
I mean,
name
almost-
a million
yeah.
bands.
Almost every one of the bigger, like well-known death metal bands, they come through and just kill it live.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Because you need the right mixture of like stuff that's not a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
And crushing.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like
And their songs, their actual songs.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's a structure to
Yeah.
it.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
they're not riff
Even
salads.
though it's so crazy and sounds like, it's death metal, but there's still a structure. And it's kind of like a clever structure too.
Totally.
Because it's not a pop structure.
Yeah.
Dude, but I will say Necrophagist is that is why Necro has resonated so much to me, is because they were like a tech death band that also wrote songs,
Yeah.
100%.
which is
100%.
yeah.
But
mean,
I
it's-
think Cannibal is the first band to do that.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want to me, but
Well,
I think
for sure.
they
be,
invented
yeah.
modern death metal. Like, I mean, because they have songs that are a little more on the tech side, and then they have songs that are almost like a death metal like pop song, like Sentence to Burn,
Totally.
or Scourge of Iron.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like these are
Scourge.
just like classic songs.
You could throw
they're death
Scourge
metal.
on the radio. You could.
I could
I'm sure
I could actually
Scourge is
picture
on the
hearing
radio.
that on the radio. That would be sick. That would be
Same.
that would be like a great day for metal.
Well, one of our
Maybe
best
we're just
songs
too far
are-
gone.
One of our songs that goes over live, always the best, is Temple of Flame, and it's like basically a pop structure song,
Totally.
and it's hard to tell because it's death metal and it's a very like Scourge of Iron, like it was inspired by that song.
Yeah.
So it's just a heavy beat down like choruses and verses and stuff,
It's also very simple,
but it's simple.
Yeah.
to the point.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about death metal is that there are these kind of like catchy, more poppy death metal songs, like
Oh,
that
yeah.
that like really popular Decapitated song. I forget the name of
Winds of Creation
Dun-
or Spheres of
Yeah.
Madness.
Yeah.
Spheres of
Yeah.
Madness,
Yeah.
you know? It's like that kind of stuff to me is so freaking awesome, and it totally kills live. So I guess that would be on the other side of going completely insane. However, I've seen like Decrepit Birth like a long time ago at like a house show, and since it was such like a tight room, it's just everything's just like cutting through perfect, and it's just like
I feel like
this is the
every
fucking
time-
sickest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, every time I saw Decrepit on the Winds of, or the what was the first album?
And time begins.
Yeah.
And Time
Time.
Begins era, like they sounded awesome and they crushed it every
Oh
time.
my god, yeah,
Like with Casey on drums.
100%.
Killing.
Yeah, and it just sounded good. And
And
some,
those songs.
those songs, yeah. Even though those songs were
classic.
See,
like
those songs are not
face melters?
Those are the complete opposite of the death metal pop song that we're talking about.
Yeah, but
I know for sure. But something about how they did it and the way it was done cut through. Another one of the bands that was a face melter that always cut through live every single time was Disgorge.
Yeah,
don't
I
know
only
if I've
saw
ever
them.
seen Discord.
Oh my god, dude! The
I don't
things
think I
that
have.
they would do to a club, just and if you
Brutal.
were, you listen to like Infinite Parallels of Infinite Torture or whatever, and you're like, yeah, this is gnarly, like it's probably crazy, but live, something about the way they did what they did, like made people go insane.
Yeah.
and it sounded good because it's just chugs, their tuning, their tone, whatever it was.
It's
something.
the way that they move from riffs into riffs.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's like there's like a
'Cause there's
groove
this-
in the grind. Like it's like I don't.
Yeah, well
Right.
now
It's
that
almost
would
this
be like
build-up.
part of that like slam thing or whatever. But then
But they were their original slang.
I know, but then
Yeah.
we just called that death metal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We were just
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
this
I
is
thought
crazy
that was
death,
Oh,
brutal
totally.
death
That was
metal.
yeah,
is
brutal
what I
death
call it.
grind. I
Yeah.
thought, like
Yeah.
was that
But yeah,
what
I
was.
saw them at House of Bricks. Well, Animosity played with them one time.
Nice.
Like
House of Bricks or House of Blues? Or Brick by Brick.
Brick
Yeah,
by
House,
Brick.
yeah, House of
Brick
Bricks.
by Brick.
Yeah, House of Bricks is in Des Moines.
There we go. There is a House of Brick.
There is.
There is a House of Brick. Yeah, Brick by Brick, which was like.
Wait, Brick by Brick is which venue?
We've
is that?
played there.
In San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
All the
the
metal
guy
shows.
from.
As I Lay Dying.
Yeah.
Owns it.
Yeah. He didn't. I don't think so. Back in
Is
the day.
that venue?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That the guy
The
from
guitar
LA
player.
died.
The guitar player. I think he must have bought it.
He probably
or-
bought it because that was a venue for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was like the death metal venue. Like, because,
Oh, wow.
up in NorCal, we'd always hear about, like, they would always have, like, super sick death metal shows there that we'd hear about. Like, oh, shit, Vile and Disgorge are fucking playing, like.
Oh, like
you'd hear about,
festivals.
not even a festival, you just hear about super brutal shows going on there, like,
Yeah.
all the time. It was like a unique leader kind of hot spot.
That's interesting because I think that the first time we played there was with like Dillinger.
Yeah.
Right? Right? That's the venue we played.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Totally.
Yeah.
Which was a really good time.
Did you guys ever play the Jumping Turtle?
No.
Mm.
Where is that at?
No.
In San Diego.
A word.
I played let's see, Brick by Brick, and then there was some other place that we played. It was called like Epicenter, something like that.
Hmm.
What's that place that we've played at this like bigger venue?
Glass House?
Oh yeah.
Is that what it's
the
called?
Glass House?
That's in Anaheim. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
There are a
shocked.
lot of
The
Glass
venues
House.
down
There was
there.
one in San Diego though, right?
Glass House.
Or
It's
no,
like
I
in a
think it was-
little
I think that
town
was Anaheim.
center.
It might have been Anaheim.
Yeah.
There's another place that's not Glass House. Anyway, I don't know. There's a few venues that we've.
I think I've only been to Brick by Brick.
No. You've been to this other place. I'm like, my memory, it's not very good. Straight up.
Yeah, that's funny because I
Neither
can
is
like
mine.
Really?
Yeah, when people ask me like, "Oh, did you?" I like, "Oh yeah, I've been to Asheville, North Carolina."
Yeah,
Where'd you play?
Like, I don't know. I just know that I was there.
Orange place. I remember like the building was orange.
That's pretty cool. I can't even really get that far. I'm just kind of like, I know I was there.
Dude, I can
Yeah.
usually I can recall the entire layout of a place that we've played.
But once I
For
go
the most
back,
part.
once I go back to the venue,
Then
I'm
you're like, oh,
yeah.
I've been here.
of course,
Immediately.
been here. I know, I know what's all around.
But touring
there
is such a blur. Like it's hard to like remember details, especially
I
if you're
know.
drinking. And
Oh,
Totally.
God. Yeah, it totally is.
Or like
But
I'll
some
be
people's brains work like that.
yeah.
Like where they can recall like, oh yeah, the bar looked like this and
Yeah.
the stage was like this and there was that one
That's
weird
how,
monitor.
that's how I am. That's how I am for most places. And I thought that it would always be that way until I started touring heavily and I started forgetting people's faces. Like, if I have had a full-blown conversation with someone, I can still remember their face. But if I just said hi to them or was introduced to them briefly, then it's like, no, not going to happen.
Well, what I did on both a bunch of European tours now, probably like 3, I kept like a diary, and I took it was like this app
Of
that I had
each
on my phone.
person's face.
No, I'd take a picture every day and wrote something about it. And
That's
if you
cool.
scroll back through, you can just totally remember every single day.
That's a good idea.
That's really cool.
It's
actually.
really,
That sounds-
really cool. And I want to make like a little book out of it, but
That is a good idea.
Never did it.
Even, everywhere on tour, always.
yeah, because I
It'd be
did
cool.
it. I did it for the tour that Entheos did, and the tour that I did when I was doing my like electronic thing.
That's cool.
So I have like a picture every day, and then I said something, just type something, like the show sucked. I don't know, whatever. Just
Have you
whatever
done an
gripe.
Arkaik tour in Europe?
No.
Really?
No. It almost happened like between the 10 years that we've been touring.
Mm-hmm.
It almost happened a couple times. And then it just never happened. It just fell through. It was like, oh, you got submitted for this tour, and we're like crossing our fingers, like, oh, maybe it'll happen.
Totally.
Never happened. Then in 2020, in March, we were geared up, ready to go. Almost bought our flights and all that stuff. But we did get a driver, and the whole tour was booked by Nick from Verbum.
Oh, word. That's cool.
So he put a lot of hard work into booking this tour. Some festivals were on it, Eastern and Western Europe, and yeah, got canceled. Then it got rebooked for later in the year because we're like, it's gonna be a
This thing
Yeah,
will
this
will
blow over.
blow over.
It's just-
That's what I thought. I thought it was gonna blow over in 3 weeks.
yeah. Well, that's what they said.
5
Yeah,
They
2
always
weeks to
said-
flatten
Yeah,
the curve.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about all of that. It's been so long. I forgot about
Flatten
2
the
weeks to
curve.
flatten the
That was
curve.
the vibe.
Yeah.
And then
I'm like, who's got the equalizer on this?
then it's just curve forever.
Yeah.
Can we just
infinite?
just
Curving.
take the coronavirus and then notch it out at about like 10K?
Yeah.
Have you guys toured Europe with Entheos?
Yes, we have actually.
We were with Beyond Creation and Gorod and Brought by Pain. It was sick.
It was too good of a time. It was
Way
bad.
too good.
It was bad times.
But
when
it's also
when the good times turn, you've gone too far. You're like, it's 9 a.m., dude. Fuck.
yeah, we should go to bed. And then you have Hugo from Beyond Creation waking you up at like 4 p.m.
Yeah, like every day it's like, oh shit, the sun's
yeah.
coming up. We need to go to bed. This is like
Because
bad
when
times.
you're a band who's not used to having a bus and you all of a sudden are on a bus, it's like, all right, it's time to let loose. Because in America, we're not letting loose because someone's
like,
driving a fucking
I gotta
van
drive,
every night.
But yeah, and then also that band Gorod are French, and apparently French people are nuts. So
They kind of seem nuts. I never really like hung out with them.
They're
I love
fucking
their
nuts.
music, but
They're nuts.
yeah,
They're
I know
nuts.
they're into really good music,
And they play perfectly every single night, no
Yeah, they
matter
do.
how hard anyone partied the night before.
So we'd be
Also,
like,
those guys, they'd be awake at like, okay, we would all go to bed at say 7 in the morning and they would be awake at like 9.
dude,
and,
it was
and the
like,
bus would be driving through the town that we were in, and Gorod would be outside of the bus, like at a restaurant, drinking wine and eating cheese.
Yeah, like have like food
while we
and-
were rolling down the street,
I'd be
waking
like
up in our pumps.
so unbelievably hungover that I was like, I just
Yeah,
like wanted to cry, you know. And they'd be like pouring wine and
yeah, just
good to go.
enjoying their
just
time.
like, what the hell's going on here?
they just operate like that.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but I tried to keep up.
They're
and
a
it
lot
was-
of fun though. That's the
Man, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They listen to really good music, like, you know, all the French electronic music and all kinds of electronic music in general. But we would just like play the show, and then in the like lounge of the bus, you know, we'd just be like fucking jamming music.
Yeah,
and
it was a
just
part like
screaming and just being crazy,
the
like
cool thing was
stage diving. like,
yeah, we would do that, and someone would be like flicking the lights and doing a light show every night. I think
yeah.
like,
Someone would get on the like little like switch over by the like door, you know,
yeah.
and they'd be like just
Yeah.
going with the music. It was so
It was
fun.
psychotic. Like there was a day that we were still awake when we got to the next day's venue. Like
Oh,
we
wow.
pulled up outside of the venue.
There was tons of days. It was like, we're at the venue. I gotta go to sleep.
time
This
to
is
go to sleep.
This is nuts. So yeah,
Like
and
you
your boy,
arrive at the venue.
next day's venue.
Yeah, it's like,
and
oh,
you have
shit.
not
Oh.
gone to sleep.
Yeah,
yet.
like you look outside and you're like, oh fuck, it's like light outside.
But it was
you're
just one
in
of those
some little
tours.
fucking European town. You're like, what
It
the
was
fuck?
like everyone got along really well.
I know.
You know, you could go on a tour in a bus with 3 other bands, and it's like people aren't very cool, but every band was super cool, and we were like homies with them forever.
I think that's really what it was at the root.
Yeah.
It was that we
That's-
all got along so well. It would be like if we had a bus.
But it was
You know what I mean?
disastrous.
It'd be
Yeah.
like,
it would
because
be
the fun never
catastrophic.
ends.
Yeah.
the fun-
we would just be like always trying to hang
It'd
out.
probably
If it was
be
like,
more fun if we had a bus
Yeah.
together because we know each other. So it would be like full, you know,
we
just
all
from
kind of
the
speak the
beginning.
same language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was like that, you know, like there's not really anyone to be like, let's go to bed. You know what I mean?
Or like,
it was
fuck you guys, this isn't fun.
The
You know,
inmates-
there's
What
no
was
one
the
to-
running
driver
this out.
like? What was that? What was his
Okay, the
kinda
first
deal?
driver was
He was
awesome, but then we got the second driver. I can't remember his name, but he wasn't as cool.
Yeah, they put up with our bull.
I don't want to say his name out loud.
They put up with our bullshit, but they made us pay for it,
Really? How?
like with money.
Oh,
Yeah,
literally.
with money.
yeah. So
Cash,
they were
cold hard cash.
they were like, in hindsight, actually, I've never thought of that because I've always been like, man, fuck that bus driver. But it's like, you kind of did have to deal with a lot
No,
of
not. How could you say fuck? Any
No, because
person
they
who's-
were always sweating us. Like,
They were okay. There was
dude,
one day
we had to pay them a fuckload of money, and like, they're not listening to this. Fuck them. Who gives a shit?
but they might drive us again in the future, and then I'm
Yeah,
gonna
man, they
wake
wouldn't
up on
know.
a mountainside,
They wouldn't know. I mean, come on.
and we're gonna be falling off.
They did some stuff that was not so chill, but in terms of the partying, they put up with it.
They really did.
But they would do stuff that was like, they'd make us give them a bunch of money. Like, hey, the venue doesn't have any food. I need like 40 euros, something crazy. You know what I mean? Like they were getting paid for that. And then another thing they would do that was weird was like they would always be like trying to go park somewhere where it was like way easier for them. You know what I mean?
Well, the one day, okay, so we played in Porto, Portugal.
Yeah.
And to get to like the drop off point for the venue, it was like a garage and you had to pull like slightly up a hill. It was
we're talking
it was
like
a hill.
a fucking 3% grade, like a little hill.
So they claimed that the bus could not be pulled up this hill.
Nope, can't do it.
So they made us load in from like a mile away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I have it on my phone because I was going to complain, and I was like, I videoed the whole, like, how long it took to walk.
Which was a long
like
time.
So far. It took like 15 minutes.
Because we had to load our stuff up that hill. So it was like 30 people in the tour pulling shit, like constantly running back to the bus, pulling shit up the hill.
And we were like, what? And mind you, it was like, Naveen, get up. We're loading it. You know,
oh, yeah. Because it was a drop and go.
We had a good time the night before, right? So it's just up out of nowhere, like, you know, bunks up and, hey, you got to get up. We're loading right now. And I'm like, all right, what's going on? And then we're just on the side of the fucking road somewhere. You know, like these little European roads that are this big. Mm-hmm. And then everyone's just kind of like,
no, we were on a busy road. We were on a busy road. It was in a tourist area. It was like we took a picture.
It was busy, but it was this big.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
It was busy and it was that big. So we had to wake up on this busy ass road and take all of our shit to the venue. But at the end of the night, they pulled up to the
directly
spot.
to the venue. It's like,
so they pulled up to like the entire tour packaging the entire tour package clapping like and cheering.
Like, yay, we don't have to do that again.
You made it.
I know, but
you made it.
The fucked up part is it's like, you could pull up here.
Yeah.
What are you doing? So
but
a lot of
paid,
stuff like that.
We paid dearly. But
I mean, these bus drivers.
If you counter out the partying, though, now that I think of it, I don't blame them.
You know, I actually never thought of that until now.
Me either.
Because they're like, oh, what was the bus driver like? I'm like, oh, well, I guess he did have to put up with us being like insane.
He also had to drive a bus. Would you want to drive a bus?
With insane people in it 24 hours a day.
Right.
People that are like listening to music super loud and like moshing.
Well, you heard what we said. We were fucking flashing the lights all night.
Actually, I have videos of that, of us like flashing the lights and screaming and like crowd surfing and just like being.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to be like not drunk dealing with that.
No, that'd be
because
shitty.
Drunk people are already kind of bad to deal with.
Is this while the bus is moving?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So the guy's also trying to keep you alive on tiny little European roads in a giant
you guys
fucking
are raging
bus.
right now.
In the background,
driving this thing.
Yeah. That's what.
He's like,
that's like, oh! Yeah, it was awful for him, for them.
Yeah.
For us, though, it was
ultra sick.
It was super sick. It was really, really fun. But that was one where, I mean, going to Europe is so expensive. You know,
that is kind of the thing. You have to like
I mean,
what,
Cheney and
flights?
Cheney and I like drained our personal accounts to do it. You know what I mean? So
merch. How did that work?
it was not bad. I mean, we did sell merch and did fine. We had merch printed there.
But the thing is that, like, if you do the numbers when you fly to Europe, you're paying, I think we paid like $2,300 a week or something for the bus.
Oh, those buses
Euros?
are expensive.
Dude, it's insane.
Yeah, it was euros,
bro.
What's that? What's that in?
I don't know.
So it was like
more
maybe
than $1
maybe
more than
$26
right?
or $2,700.
It's like a buck.
We took
At
our
the time, I think it was like $1.25.
we took our sound guy.
Damn.
So we paid him.
Yeah. So that's like 5 plane tickets.
Plane tickets plus like overweight stuff. Everyone is taking. We took our light show to Europe, so it's like we spent money. Yeah.
It was a lot, and then the bus stuff. It'll be like on paper, it's one number, but then in reality, there's like all kinds of extra stuff. Like I was saying, they're like, hey, we want 40 euros for a fucking schnitzel or whatever. And then there's like parking. There's like, we got to take a ferry over there. It's 100 euros. You know, it's like, fuck, man.
Sometimes you have to pay. Like there were fees to get across the, or like work permits.
There's
fees.
all kind. I mean, dude, it's.
You have to do work permits?
I think into the UK we had to do a permit, and then maybe into another country, and you have to pay tax on the money you make.
I heard the UK is, you got to do that. That was something we looked into. Is like, okay, permits we have to do in the UK.
Yeah.
Do you have to do them other places?
I think it was just the UK and maybe like Italy. I want.
There
was
might be like
one other place.
Random.
But then there are also countries that make you pay taxes on money that you make.
Yeah, Switzerland.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's just
like,
you're entering a million different countries. It's you're totally
that's
subject
why
to.
I mean, that actually is why there's so much electronic music from Europe. Because I actually hung out with like one of my favorite electronic artists, Rezo. You know that guy?
Yeah.
And we were kind of just talking about it, you know, and he's like, the reason why America has so many bands and Europe has so many electronic artists is because it's just way easier to be an electronic artist there than to have a band. Because if you have a band, there's just all sorts of restrictions and fucking taxes.
5X everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas if you're just solo, you can just kind of get away with flying under the radar.
Well, and for them, their countries are as big as our states.
Exactly.
So it's like a whole, you know, we can pretty much tour freely in the United States.
You can just fucking go on tour.
You can tour freely. You never get stopped at a border. You're getting stopped. You get pulled out of the bus sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, not every border in Europe is like that, but you do get pulled out of the bus, like when you're in the UK. You know, they're. So
it's a lot.
It's like Canada.
Yeah, it's like Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, you're basically going into Canada like a lot. You know, I mean, you'll be in Germany for like a couple weeks. But yeah, it's
when we went to
there's
Canada,
fucking
there was
borders
Going into
and-
Canada over and over again.
yeah.
It's like
It's
going.
Groundhog's Day in Canada.
Yeah, going into Canada is kind of strict though. It's
Yeah,
kinda-
for sure.
Dude,
We actually, when we
Yeah.
went with the Black Dahlia murder, we went through a certain spot because they knew that the border was a little bit lax, and
Totally.
there was like I know, and like Cannibal had like at least 10 grand in like merch money with them, so they were trying to do some like, I mean, you have to declare that shit going in and out of America and Canada, so they were like, you know, like, oh, you know, our T-shirts are actually promotional.
Yeah.
Right.
So
There are
we're
like
not making
all
money
kinds
on
of,
them,
there are
so
all
don't worry
kinds of,
about
like,
that.
secret words. Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to have like
They ask you how much, like, well, they don't always do it. It's always a different experience.
Yeah.
It's never the same.
not at all. I mean, one time the last time we went in was like so awesome. It was great. The guy was just
Smooth.
like super cool. He was like trying to help us out, you know. And Cheney couldn't get in for like most of the band's career, if you want to call it that, because she has got a DUI.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ultimate.
So she was
The
not
ultimate
welcome.
sin in
Canadian.
Canada. The ultimate Canadian sin.
Yeah.
eh? It's like we love all drugs and domestic abuse, but we do not like when you drink and drive.
Well, they just don't want any American drunks running amok out there.
Dude, I completely understand
I get
why
it.
I was not
I get
allowed
it.
in. Yeah,
But
I do
that's
too.
it's
But I've-
only
but I've
okay
also-
for Canada to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody else, it's like
No. You gotta let everybody in.
I also have been to like every country in Europe, you know? So every country is pretty
I think
chill
you
with
could
me getting
murder
in.
someone and go to Canada, and it's fucking chill.
Really?
I think so.
I don't know.
I've heard that.
murder, but not a DUI.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So, and we're like,
It took me a long time to be able to get into Canada.
Well, we
So
thought
you're able now.
Yeah. We
How does that
played in
work?
Canada a few times. So, okay, I got a DUI when I was 19. So 5 years.
So right there. She's 19. I mean, yeah, she
But
she
I don't
fudged
think
up,
that makes
dude.
a difference.
She fudged
I
up.
don't
She
know
wasn't
that.
even 21 yet.
I know. Yeah. Well.
And now she's trying to get in. She's like 20. How old were you? 28.
Yeah, I was 27. But so what happens after 5 years of your probation being served, you're able to file for rehabilitation, which is what Canada calls it. After 10 years, you can just get into the country scot-free. It doesn't matter.
Oh, really?
It like drops off your like international
Yeah,
record
it's
or
gone.
whatever.
Oh, damn.
So,
Okay.
but
I
after
didn't know
5
that.
years, I had to essentially fill out a ton of paper, get a bunch of like, what are they called? When the state stamps papers, they're notarized. I had to get a bunch of notarized stuff from Iowa. from where I
And
got
we had
my
to do
DUI.
it like multiple times. Because it's like,
Well, I had to do it 2 times because I filled something out wrong. So it was
yeah,
kind
like,
it
that's
was
what I'm
my
saying.
fault.
If you fill out something wrong at all,
It was
it's
like
yeah, we're doing
it
good
was
though.
literally like one line that I filled out wrong and they sent it back to me, but I got it back after 3 or 4 months.
That's what I'm saying. It takes forever.
I did the paperwork and I paid $300, and then 18 months later, I just randomly got a letter from the Canadian government, and it was just as simple as like 2 sentences saying you're okay, you can get into Canada now.
I know, and we were stoked.
You're rehabilitated.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I'm
sorry
so
about that.
sorry that
Come enjoy our Molson and our hockey.
Yeah.
We got mooses too.
bud.
But like,
Well,
I mean, playing in Canada is super sick.
Fuck
So,
yeah, amazing. Especially like Eastern Canada, like that was an awesome time. Me and Jared
Probably
were,
all of our best shows are always in like Montreal or Quebec. There's something about those 2 cities that
some of the best
like
bands come out of
I know.
that
that's
side of
true.
Canada too.
and they just like appreciate what we're doing, like our specific niche, so much more. Or like they're just like so like yes, like we love, like thank you. They're just so grateful for you to play and so stoked and cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got like to play the heavy Montreal thing, and that was like
that is
that was like the best day of my life.
And their catering is like the best thing. You feel like a rock star
It was
being in their
so cool.
catering.
It was so cool.
You had to like get a wristband, and it was a wristband monitored like entry
Like
system
a scan, you, like,
into
scan in.
catering.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So you scan and you get in, and then it's a 5-star meal. Like they
That's
had a
like
whole dessert,
That's awesome.
5-star dessert platter. It was crazy.
It's like what you'd imagine, or like what normal people would think that like being
We
in a
do
band
every day
is.
on
You know,
tour.
like
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
amazing. And
Yeah.
it's like literally this one time.
The one time you didn't have to wait an hour and a half for
Or you got a
Little Caesars,
like what? No $10 buyout.
Yeah, $10, or you'll get like a hot dog on like a white sandwich
If-
slice or bread
if
slice.
anybody
like an open
watching
bag of Pringles.
Yeah, dude.
If anybody watching or listening doesn't know what it's like, most of the time, 90% of the time, it's like $10 per day.
No,
which
no,
is,
yeah.
I'm
call
like
it a
stoked
per
when I
diem.
get my $10.
And that's
I'm like,
awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
I love it. Yeah.
For sure.
I'm like, okay.
Going to Jimmy
Subway.
Wait, but that's buyout.
Jimmy John's.
That's
the
buyout.
buyout.
It's not per diem, because per diem is like an extra thing.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. So
Per diem is typically like what bands will do. To
That's like your-
give everybody in the band like, hey, we're gonna give $10.
yeah,
out a
so
day.
per diem is like what you get directly from your band per day, but buyout is what you are promised. Like buyout is listed as a separate thing on when you get like a tour offer.
Yeah, it
You
was
know?
like in the contract. I remember that too, because there's certain places that had buyout and certain places that said that they would feed you. And like,
Yeah.
like that was the Cannibal tour. Like usually it was like some promoter from Texas that's like, yeah, don't worry, I'll feed you. And he's got like one Domino's pizza and like a 12 packs of Paps. He's like, all right, you guys are
You're
gonna.
fed.
I'd actually be
fed.
pretty stoked on that.
No,
that would be sick.
Beer
Like,
diet.
I've done way less.
Yeah,
than that.
but that's
It's
like between
here's some
3
water.
bands. Like,
Oh, wait, that was it. Okay.
I have a good
I thought that
question.
was just for you.
What's the lowest you've ever been paid for a show? For a paid show? Because we've all probably done a free show.
Oh, it was
I
a.
don't
It's
know.
definitely a
Paid.
door deal. It's definitely been a door deal.
But what was the like end of the night?
Yeah, I'm
payout?
saying.
I don't know, maybe
I'm saying that the
$50
end of the night payout was definitely a door deal. I think I don't want to say what tour, but it was like a fucking good tour, and I think we got paid like $30.
Yeah,
Oh.
and the show I think was actually pretty good.
It was decent. Yeah,
But I mean,
but it was in a
it would
city
probably have
that
to
is
be nothing,
notorious.
right? Nothing.
Well,
would be-
nothing is different than something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we've never been.
right,
Yeah.
Something, because something.
You
when
know
it's
you're not
so-
getting paid
when it's
nothing
so
when you
close
go to get
nothing,
paid nothing. Usually, it's
It's
if you
true.
go and you're promised a guarantee and they give you nothing, like that, some foul shit happens.
Yeah, and then everyone's like knocking on the promoter's door at the end of the night. Like all the bands are like, "Fuck this guy, we're gonna roll over to his house and fucking kill him."
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that's different. Being promised something, and getting nothing. But
I think our lowest was $7. I think
Okay,
that's
that's
our
legit.
like our.
That's
our-
where you take that 7 and you like frame it. Dude.
I know. We were like actually like, wow, look at this. Like, this is such a concrete number. It's not even 2 digits.
yeah, it's just like here's
just 7.
That's
And I think
brutal.
that was like before that. It was like 9 was the I don't know the benchmark for lowest.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
Well, then,
I think we hit 7 at one point. It was like a door deal show in like a basement or somebody's house or something like that.
Totally,
And
yeah.
it was like, all right, the show made
it's like a quote unquote door deal. That's like a grandiose way of putting it.
Did
Yeah.
you sell merch though?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I
that's-
guess we probably sold some merch.
that's good.
Okay, well, how about this? Here's the sister to that question is how many people have you played to the lowest number?
Oh, okay.
Have you gone 0? Because NK's gone 0.
I think we've gone 0.
We've gone 1.
Because I remember in Animosity, we were playing a show, and there was like one guy watching us, and like he left. And I remember Chase being like, the only guy can't leave.
Wait, he left in the middle of the show?
Yeah, he was in Arkansas.
That's fucking horrible if you're playing a show and the
and
guy doesn't even feel bad enough for you.
You can see them walk away while you're playing.
Yeah, because he doesn't even feel bad for you. You know, he's like,
I remember Chase being like, the only guy here can't leave. Like, why are we even playing?
He's literally got to dislike everything you're doing enough to be okay with being an asshole about it. There's like no pity watching. He's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna be the only person here hating this, so I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not obligated to be here.
Yeah,
I know.
I wish that I had like the courage to be that person, because I would 100%, if I were the only person who was at a show, I would watch the entire show.
I'd be like, we're committed.
Yeah.
Well, it's like your show at that point. It's so exclusive.
Yeah. And I'll like write about it on the internet. Like, yeah, I saw that band when they were super underground.
To myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that happened. Have you guys heard of Charlie XCX?
Mm-hmm.
We saw her, and it was just us watching the show.
Really?
Yeah. It was, so Steve Aoki has a club, or had a club.
Oh, yeah, Dim Mac?
Yeah. So we used to go there like, all the time.
Well, we went there every Tuesday.
Yeah, because on Tuesdays it was open bar from 8 to 9. So we would just get tanked and watch whoever was playing. And Charlie XCX was playing there, and I was way into her when she just had like this EP out. But we were the only people there. And I was just like dancing to Charlie XCX.
I think that was before she had like a hit. There was some
she was.
She had something with like Iggy Azalea. Or something.
She's gigantic. Yeah,
that's wild.
Dude.
I've seen a couple good shows.
I only know that she's huge because she shows up on Facebook's targeting options when you use Facebook ads. So
really?
You're definitely made it there when you can target the fans of Charlie XCX.
Yeah, totally. That means she's and she had that hit song with Iggy Azalea.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
I'm so fancy.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yep.
Iggy Azalea kind of fell off though, right? After that one really bad video.
She was rapping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That freestyle,
dude. Let's pull that up right now.
I know
okay.
Freestyle.
Pull up.
Let's use this computer.
This ended it for
Pull
her?
up.
I don't know. I haven't
like
heard about her since then.
I know she like started working with T.I. or TIP.
Wait, T.I. is TIP now?
He was always T.I. or TIP.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow,
I don't ever
didn't know
remember. But I don't like know how like legit that dude is. He's like he's not Kanye.
But failed.
He ain't no yay.
He ain't no.
Tire marks.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Finish line with fire marks.
Hang on a second.
This is a reaction video.
What's going on here?
Master, she know the pants got spit like a plaster. Raptor, bench, did like don't like dash, faster, motorbike faster. He gotta get a bitch, pass him a rapture. White bitch, go back.
I think this is what did it for her.
Something doesn't add up.
Chance, you're way better at freestyling than Iggy Azalea is.
Is she not saying words? I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on there.
She's kind of like faking it.
You remember when that came out?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought
Really?
she
watch it
she
without,
said something racist.
Can we watch
or
it without
something.
Peter Griffin?
Okay, hold on a second. That like stormed the internet.
reacting
dude.
to it?
Well, it sounds like people are into it, like at the time.
Well, people
Yeah,
are,
they're
they
like,
probably don't know any better, and like the social pressure to be like boo.
but also they're probably like, are
so
my
high,
ears
they're
just
like,
blown? Like, is she really? She might really be saying words, and I just
right?
It just might be a bad
she's
mix.
rapping so fast.
Right.
Oh, it's got official lyrics.
Oh god.
Let's see the lyrics.
No, it's on there.
Oh, sick.
Somebody transcribed it.
Tire marks.
Finish line with fire marks.
Fire marks.
Master, she know the pants got spit like a plaster. Raptor, bench, did like don't like dash, faster, motorbike faster. He gotta get a bitch, pass him a rapture. White bitch, go back and blow like a wind. Perhaps your rooftop in the wind. When I win, no, when I win, they go.
I gotta be honest.
What's going on here?
I gotta be honest. These lyrics are making it make more sense because I can like kind of. No camera. I don't care who you are. No, She did say some words in there.
Yeah, but she was like mixing non-wordery with real wordery.
Yeah.
So
Pass me the joint when I got when the boys. This motherfucker is the same with the bite that I got to go, but I get my drink. And what you motherfuckers think? Oh my god, I watch cartoons.
Dude, spot on.
we definitely jammed that quite a bit when it came out.
That you could probably remix that
fire.
freestyle
Okay.
into like a really funny ass like bass music song.
I forgot that I have
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Tornado.
Tornado.
Yeah, the Chasmanian devil. That's what I call that.
But the other thing too is she's like a nice like Australian like white girl, but when she's all tight, I'm talking like that is like that's
So that did it for her.
That's kind of like
I don't
that's
know.
very
I
cringy.
mean, honestly, I think that was like 5 years ago or something. And since that video, I haven't heard anything about
Me
it.
either.
Yeah, and because I remember that when that came out, and it was awesome. I loved it. I was like, this is the best thing ever. Thank you for this. You know what I mean? It was like that Fergie video. The
Where
Fergie
she Peter Pants?
No, I don't know that one.
Fergie Peter Pan.
That's what I heard.
It was like when she did the national anthem. And it was like really, really terrible.
Oh yeah, and she was just having an off day, and it was just like super.
She was trying to be like jazzy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like it didn't follow the original cadence of the tune.
Not at all. Not at all. It was unpatriotic. Let's put it that way. But for some reason, Cheney like finds out about like pop stars like right before they become famous.
That is true. I haven't
Yeah, like she was.
Okay, so
she was like, we listened to Iggy Azalea
What's
like
the next one?
way before she was famous at all.
Who's gonna pop off now, Cheney?
Yeah, we can tie it back to this podcast.
No, Cheney, you have found out about like.
No, it's
you
so
find
true.
out about them, and then
I knew
boom,
about
huge.
Lady Gaga before she was well known.
Wow.
Yeah, and The Weeknd.
Yep.
I actually should be like I should work for a
Blogger.
label.
Yeah.
A blogger. Well, at least think more of me than blogger. Babe. Fuck.
What the fuck is a blog?
I would imagine
I
though.
know. Does anyone have a blog anymore?
That wasn't a diss. I
You know
imagine
who
that
does
like,
have a blog? Everyone who's ever wanted to share a recipe that they've made.
They've got a blog.
With everyone.
Because you need blogs to put the recipe on.
You need
Yeah.
a blog, and apparently you need to write like a life
No,
story
there's nothing
about
wrong against
chicken
blogs.
Well, no,
Alfredo.
but nobody blogs anymore. Everyone vlogs. now.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Like this
Yeah.
is almost, or maybe could be considered a vlog.
kind of, yeah.
That's
I
true.
actually
It's like
did
a social
I did
vlog.
do one vlog. I wanted to. I was all hyped. I was like, Cheney, we got to start doing a vlog, man. It's gonna be sick. Like, let's do it. And I did make one episode.
That's true, because you built out our van.
Yeah, but we didn't
I've
really
I've
take it further
attempted.
than that.
I've had some false starts vlogging.
Dude,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Have you?
That's exactly what it
I did a
is.
Banville one, never got released. That's how
Really?
false start it was.
That's super false. Wait, what kind of van build did you do?
Just some like
Spill out the van.
yeah, it was like a bed between the first. It was our 15 passenger van, and we've got like I always wanted to like not get rid of all the seats,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
keep some seats and like legally seat belts as well. And
Okay.
the
I
our
like it.
van, the last seat is all the way up at the back,
Right.
so it's almost like
I think you guys
even-
have the same van as us, pretty much.
probably if just a 15
I
passenger.
think
Yeah.
it is. Like when I was
Is
sitting
it a
in it
Ford?
for the wedding, I was like,
Yeah.
this feels like being in the Arkaik van.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
feels like going on tour.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
But all it was a platform between all the seats. So there's 4 seats. We took out the middle 2, put a platform, and then we made a hingey thing where you can slide stuff under the platform for storage, and you can sleep on top of it.
Oh, that's smart.
Okay.
But it's
Now
still seats.
is the bench that's closest to the driver flipped around, or is it still going forward?
Still forward.
Okay.
It's like a car in the front
Got it.
with a bed in the middle,
And then another bench.
and then a bench in the back, which is like
So you could
usually a
sleep like
sleepable.
4 people, or how many people are you sleeping in there?
5.
Is there any like 1-bedroom apartment type vibe in your van where someone can, for instance, if you were taking a woman on tour with you, is there any place for her to change?
Nope.
Yeah, well, no, they
Yeah.
did. They built
No.
That's what I'm.
a shower, and there's a working stove.
And there's also like a powder station.
It's a powder station. Yeah. And there's actually a bin.
There's a vanity mirror.
There's a bin for female, what do they call them? Toiletries.
Yeah. It's all just like folded into the ground.
Folds out.
And you pull it up.
Yeah, well, we had a pretty good setup going.
Yeah, dude. It's got to be a trip being a chick on tour.
Dude, well,
we don't. No.
That's like it's weird at night being the like only person who wants to go into a gas station to pee. You know, I can squat, but I don't really want to get out of a van and squat. And I insist on like going to a bathroom. So yeah, that's the trip of it. And just like changing. Like if I wake up in the morning, I want to be able to change and like have a little bit of privacy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So we can take our shirt off.
Yeah.
Or I could just be like behind the say this is the van bench. You know, I could have no pants on right now.
Yeah.
You would
but I also feel
But
like
also no one's trying to peek on like a naked dude trying to change, right? There's like, there's a naked dude.
Yeah.
But if there's a naked chick, people are like, oh, holy shit. Like
I accidentally saw.
you could actually
not like that,
surround
my
a
bad.
naked chick by 10 naked dudes and it would detour anyone wanting to look at the naked chick.
We'll try that.
That's how you gotta do it. No,
good idea.
Build a
Good idea.
barrier.
Good
No,
idea.
but I know
the naked dude
No,
dare.
but you know, I like have just because I've been doing it for a good amount of time. I like have come up with alternative.
You've
like,
mastered the
ways.
art.
Yeah, but the best
Like,
way
put a
is
blanket.
for the blanket. I'll change and like fully shower in a van with no one catching what I'm doing.
There
Like
is
baby wipe shower, right?
No, I don't fuck with baby wipes, dude. I throw water on a washcloth and I like shower that way.
Oh, okay, so you lady wipe.
Yeah, lady wipe. Baby wipes leave
Horror's
residue.
bath is what she
Yeah,
calls it.
I call them horror's baths.
Like they used to do at the brothel out there back in New Orleans in the 1820s. Them whores was smelling real nice after them breath, I'll tell you what.
I
I
smell
do
nice
declare you
after it.
smell real good after your horse bath. You're ready to powder up and get to work, ain't you? I don't know where that came from. It's just a horse bath. It sounds like something they'd say.
DNA.
Yeah, that's that horse bath. Yeah, my girlfriend, she takes them horse bath. What do you call it when a dude wipes his balls with the rag? A gentleman's
quiff.
A gentleman's.
a gentleman's wipe. I gave myself a gentleman's wipe. What about your girl? Yeah, she had a horse bath.
do it in like a really like UK accent.
Hold on, it's gonna be hard to break out of this. A gentleman's bath. Excuse me. Yes. Oh, I would like to. I'd like to have a gentleman's wipe, please. But my lady would definitely like a horse bath. Yeah?
Or no, the drunk Scottish guy.
Oh man. Oh fucking! It took me a gentleman's wipe, but I tell you, my girlfriend, she got a horse bath. I'll drink me a pint of warm melon. She had a horse bath. I'll give her a horse bath with my tongue. I'll tell you what, my tongue. Can I give you a tongue? Never mind. I'll stop. A horse bath. That was a great tangent.
A horse bath.
So yeah, she does do horse baths.
So yeah, that's what I get.
But that does remind me, we went to that music festival.
Did it
together
remind
with these
you?
guys.
Hold on. Did it remind you of the generator story?
Oh,
Because that's what it reminded me of.
fuck! That was one of the most mind-numbingly brilliant.
Well, I think we have actually talked about
Tangents.
on the podcast that we went to like a rave base because we got COVID there, so we've mentioned it.
Yeah,
But,
total disclosure. You guys did not catch COVID.
I caught
not catch
COVID.
COVID.
I got a sinus infection
That could have been
from it.
Yeah.
slightly
for
COVID.
those
But
of
I
you who
don't get tested
know,
because I don't
we-
need the government knowing my business.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, for sure. But we went to that fest with Jared and Chance and Shara, who is not present, unfortunately.
Next time.
Shout out
Jared's
Share
fiance.
Bear.
Visit you in
Jared-
Nashville.
Jared's fiance.
I wanted her to come on. And I was like, you should come on.
I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking she would sit off
I know,
over
it's
there
like,
when she
fuck, I'll
said
get a
when she
fifth
said
mic.
that.
She was down, but she has to work super early tomorrow. Like 6 a.m.
Oh God.
Got it. So,
I know.
are you gonna grab like a Uber home, or are you just
Yeah.
gonna stay here?
Okay. Chill.
Uber.
All right. Chill.
Are you working tomorrow?
No. Well, I mean, I am.
Do you
but I
work
from
tomorrow,
home.
Chance?
I work tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh my God. So you're just chilling.
I'm just chilling.
What time do you gotta get up at?
Whenever I get home.
Okay, you're getting up.
That's
when you
what
get
time you get up.
Oh no! I thought you said when you going to bed.
I said, what time you gotta get
Like,
up?
excuse me, sir. You looked at him like, excuse me, sir. I don't know why you would ask me what time I'm
What
going to bed.
a ridiculous
Yeah, what time you have to
and
get up?
flagrant abuse of my intellect with that question. No, I
dare
got to
you.
get up at 6:30.
So you're just
Damn,
chilling.
Okay, that's
But we got to it's fall back, so it's technically 7:30. So I'm getting an extra hour of sleep.
True that.
Thanks, farmers, for
How long-
that business.
How long does that go
No
on
idea
for
how that
though? That
works.
it's technically 7:30.
Until my body gets used to it, and I'm
Yeah.
tired as fuck when I wake up again.
Yeah. Right. It's technically
Until my
6:30
internal
again.
clock goes, it was fun while it lasted, buddy, but now you're still exhausted.
yeah. I'm not working tomorrow, so I'm hanging out.
Do you not work Mondays?
I do. I don't.
No, I just work whenever. It's not really. There's no.
That's a sick
Sometimes-
job.
That's yeah.
I know. I was just like, I'm just not gonna work tomorrow.
My job's real
just not
loose, and
doing
I
it.
could call in if I wanted to, but I already took Thursday and Friday off to go see Noisia.
Tell your job live right now. You're
Wait,
calling in.
Live.
so you saw Noisia on their last tour?
Yeah, I saw him in LA.
Did you see that they announced that they're gonna do some more tour dates next year?
They're gonna do festivals next year, but
Festivals.
I
they're-
thought they broke up like
You saw
10
a full
years
blown
ago.
show
No.
though. You saw just them.
no, well, it's like they still split booking, so it's just one of the guys that goes out. But I saw Tice.
Yeah. Okay.
Tice was good. I was surprised. The last couple times I've seen Nick, and Nick's really dope. And I know Tice likes to throw a lot of left field stuff on, but he went full gnar on everyone.
So wait,
Rinsed
it was
everyone off.
just Tice.
Yeah, it was just Tice.
Okay, that's cool.
There was no one opening for
Was
him.
it
or
at?
No, there was like a local drum and bass dude. I forget his name, but he was pretty good. And then this chick, Huxley Ann, she does a lot of weird like left field bass stuff. So it was like an opener that played a bunch of like drum and bass rinsers and like crowd hypey stuff. And then Huxley Ann went on and played a bunch of like weird left field stuff. And then Tice went on and then rinsed everyone off.
I bet.
Super hard.
Where was
I
it?
bet.
This place called the Academy in LA.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
It's kind of new. I think it used to be the Vanguard. Like I got in there and I was like, I used to go. There was
heard of that.
They would throw drum and bass shows there when I was in high school, and it was the only club that you could get in that was 18 and up.
So you're telling me that when you were in high school, you went to drum and bass shows in LA?
Yeah,
God, that's
So you've
sick.
been into electronic music like the whole time. You've been into death metal.
yeah. Like earlier, I was started going to raves. Like I went and saw before Insomniac blew up. They were the ones that were throwing all the cool
Right,
little
I
parties
remember.
in LA.
Dude, I totally remember. Like back in the day when we lived in LA, we would just look for Insomniac events.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
pretty much. I mean, at this point, it's kind of back in the day when we lived in LA. It was like
Yeah,
11 years ago.
Yeah, I started going to like raves and electronic shows like 2003.
Oh shit!
Like
wow.
I was like a
Yeah,
junior in high school, so I would go to like a Go Ventures party or like an Insomniac party, like How Sweet It Is or like Monster Massive or some shit, and then the next weekend I would go to the showcase and see Spawn of Possession.
Yeah, totally.
Damn,
So
that
you
was
were just
cool.
mixing it up.
Open-minded.
Yeah. Well, no,
Open-minded.
I mean, for me, like I fell in love with drum and bass, like at the first rave I ever went to, because when I was in high school, all I listened to was heavy metal and gangster rap, right? So I went to my first rave.
That's
and,
actually kind of like us. In
yeah,
high school. That was the vibe.
that was the vibe.
Project Pat and death metal.
Yeah, it was me. For me, it was like Bone Thugs.
I listened to Crime Mob and 3-6 in high school.
Oh, nice.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And metal. Yeah.
Yeah, and metal. So I go to my first rave and I'm there for like 3 hours and I'm like, there's like a trance stage and like a house stage and I was like, this is kind of cool, but I don't know if I'm feeling it. And it was the first rave I ever went to was called Monster Massive. So I wander around because I was like, I don't think this is my scene. And I all of a sudden I hear like this place where they're like the doors are shaking. I was like, what the hell is this? And I open up the doors and it was the drum and bass room. And I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. And there was like a mosh pit and no candy kids and like an MC like just like doing the Iggy Azalea shit, but actually saying stuff. And I was like, this is sick. And I was like, wow. And I was like, it's like gangster rap and heavy metal had a baby.
Totally.
And it was like heavy drum and bass. And it was like Ed Rush and Optic and like Pendulum, Evil Intent, like Simon Bassline Smith, like DJ Fresh, DJ Hype, like that. And that era of drum and bass is like amazing. Like early 2000s era. But yeah, that was like, that shit was heavy. Like that was.
It's like the technical death metal of EDM.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I didn't really
so
see
frantic and like
You can't just like casually walk into drum and bass and really I don't think that someone who isn't into music is gonna walk into that scenario and be
No.
like, oh, this is
It's
But
like
the best scenario
heads,
for them to
sure.
walk into would be a live scenario where the speakers are,
Yeah.
where you're like feeling
Yeah, when
feel
you
it.
feel it, yeah.
absolutely.
But the vibe at like a drum and bass party is the same as like a metal show. Like there's
It's
Yeah.
there's mosh pits. It's heavy as fuck. Like
It's
and
like
it's
there's
music
a ton
fans.
of dorks.
Yeah, it's dorks. It's all
Yeah.
music fans.
Totally.
Like, you don't go to a death metal show unless you really like death metal. Like, you don't go to a drum and bass show because it's the cool place to be. Like, you might go see like a dubstep DJ and there'll be a bunch of like tourists that are just like, yeah, this is the cool place to be. But you go to a drum and bass show and it's all sincere, like music fans. You
It's
know what I mean?
not the cool place to be.
No.
No.
So,
It's like
I mean,
the
for me, it's
Mr.
cool.
Bungle
Yeah.
of EDM almost.
Absolutely.
It's so wacky.
Yeah, I got super into it too because of like Face and
yeah,
Xanthrop. That
Yeah,
kind of
that whole German scene, yeah, I love
and
Face
Noisia for
and
sure.
Noisia.
Like, I
yeah.
was just like, whoa, this is like crazy.
Intense.
Yeah.
It's intense. I didn't see a very much of a disconnect between a drum and bass show and a metal show.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it
quite
took me
similar.
forever to drag Jared to his first one, but I was like, dude, you're gonna
True.
like it. You're gonna get
True.
to do all the same shit that you do when we go see Suffocation. You're gonna get drunk in the parking lot and mosh. I promise. And Jared's like, nah, man, I don't like fucking techno. Like
I was like allergic to electronic music for so long because I was
Yeah.
of the position that
it all
wasn't-
sounds like
it-
Sandstorm.
yeah, or
Or it's
that,
like it's
it wasn't
it's
music.
house
Yeah.
music. Yeah. No one
Or
is
that-
performing it. No one's
right.
making
There's no technical guitar.
Right. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people get stuck in that mindset about it. You know.
It's
Which
definitely
I was the same kind of way too, a little bit in the beginning. But like the one thing that kind of sets drum and bass apart from like just a DJ stand, they usually have an MC. So there's a guy up there doing something. You know what I mean? Like freestyling, like hyping the crowd. You know, like hopefully
He's a
not too
front
much. Yeah, he's like a front man. Like I think a good drum and bass MC.
Honestly,
doesn't-
the drum and bass MC kind of annoyed me.
yeah.
I was like, man, I wish it was just.
Sometimes they overdo it.
Sometimes they overdo it, but a good
true.
MC like knows how to like when to sit back, when to get the crowd hyped, just enough of a front man to be like, there's a face to this thing, you know what I mean, and not just some dude like you know mixing.
Who's
or
just
whatever.
overtaking the drum and bass as well.
Yeah, like trying too hard to like do some shit on it where you're like, this isn't a cipher.
like that dude we saw at Unts Festival.
I
or
was
those-
gonna
those
say that.
kids.
Wasn't that okay?
And he was
You guys
scratching
saw,
were really
the whole
young.
time.
you guys saw that's a different. The next night, I feel like there was like a dude's friend who got up on stage and his girlfriend was like, "Babe, this is your time. This is your time." And he got up on stage and I was like, "Fuck." It would be a lot better if that guy wasn't on stage. Like, no offense,
Was he
I know it's
scratching?
his time. No, it wasn't. We
he
weren't
was
there that
rapping?
night. Yeah, we walked back to the campsite that night.
Oh, that's right. That's when you guys got
I'll
lost.
tell you what, though,
Yeah.
that was so fun.
That was an
We're going next
amazing-
year.
Yeah,
we're going.
Yeah,
We're
we're
gonna
gonna
fly back.
fly
It was an
back.
amazing
Flying back.
festival.
Well, the cool thing about that festival is that there wasn't any like digga-digga-ding.
No, it was
None.
95% like halftime and drum and bass, and then like
Totally.
a little
It was
bit of
kind
like deep dubstep.
It was like
It was heavy as
dark
fuck.
or like not even dark, but it was just heavy.
It was just
Yeah.
straight
If you
up
wanna hear the most-
anti-pop.
Well, I don't feel like-
just-
But it wasn't like typical like rhythm dubstep where it's like and everyone's
Which
like
gets so old. Yeah.
old. It was like good left field halftime like and drum and bass. There was tons of drum and bass. I was
Dude.
like surprised.
So
But I
good.
feel like that was a place where people didn't just stumble across. People don't stumble
No.
across.
It's a
Unfest.
dedicated-
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
dedicated like taste.
Yeah.
well,
Absolutely.
they're a blog. They're like a EDM music blog. That's like that's their whole job is to find sick music and be like, here you go, people.
Yeah.
Like so, it's only natural that they would throw a festival.
That
But I
was
was really
so
impressed
fun.
with that.
That was so
festival,
fun.
and-
I had like the best time ever.
Yeah,
It was
it was
amazing.
amazing.
And I've never been to a festival where I literally liked 95% of
Yeah.
everything that I saw. Like it's usually like you go to a festival, you're like, I want to see that guy, and that guy, and that guy, and the rest of it's kind of checking shit out, doing whatever. But like I've never been to a festival. Every time I was at a stage for pretty much the whole time I was there, I was like, this is fucking everything that I love. This is my favorite kind of music.
Totally. Even when we were eating lunch, like the
know.
day sets when
Yeah.
when I wanted to dance.
That's the
they were
thing that
so
I didn't
sick.
that I didn't really like internalize about going to a fest is you wake up and you're just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
and
at the festival.
No one has anything to do except for be there.
You're
Yeah.
super
So
you're just like,
hungover.
okay, this
That's
is
when
sick.
you're like warming up for the rest of the festival because you're
Yeah.
kind of hungover or you're,
Yeah, dude, camping fests are the shit.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing better than a
It
camping
was
fest.
so
There really
fucking
is, yeah.
fun, man. I mean,
How sick would it be for something like that, but all the band or all the performers are bands, like good metal bands.
Yeah.
I would
So
love that.
you're it's still that it's still your metal music, but
3 days of camping.
hosted
Yeah.
at a
Partying.
campground.
But it's like super.
outdoor stages.
Someone has gone through. It's a tastemakers metal festival.
Exactly.
Like someone's
Yeah,
gone
exactly.
in.
the thing
and
is,
like-
they'd have to have some DJs like during the day. Maybe they're playing like
It
just
would be
DJing
kind of
metal
cool.
or something.
Well, you know
what
how
I mean?
metal
Like,
people, like a lot of metal people, I think can get into synthwave. That's an easy crossover for them.
Yeah.
So I think synthwave
because like
would
during
probably,
the day when people are just like chilling on the lawn and stuff, like it's kind of brutal.
Or
to
what
make
if
a
it was
band.
jazz or something, like some really
Or
Yeah,
like some
some-
cool
like
stoner rock,
jazz.
like some stoner rock.
would
Like
roll.
imagine if it had there was like a doom stage of death
That's what I'm
metal
saying.
stage
a
and
black
like,
metal stage.
Yeah,
Well,
like
I'm pretty sure that exists like in Europe. I think Europeans do
I'm
that
sure
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
they do. They do it way more.
Yeah.
We're not doing that in the U.S.
But I-
besides
Yeah, no.
like Full Terra Assault is like one of the like outdoor camping kind of like.
I don't even know if
festivals.
I've heard of that.
yeah, that's a thing.
Actually, like Animosity played.
Who would headline that?
Like
Our-
Havoc.
Oh, sick. Where's it at?
Is it like a hardcore thing?
It's like mid country somewhere. It's like not close to us,
That's dope.
but
That's
it's not
dope. I wish
on the
there,
East Coast.
I wish there were more things like that went on, because it does seem like most of the like metal festivals that exist in most of the metal festivals that exist in America are super mainstream.
Yeah.
Like there's
and you,
it's
and
a
you,
rock.
You gotta
headline.
like Uber home after.
Yeah, and it's like
Oh,
get
yeah.
them in and get them out of here.
and
kind
and
of.
it's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
like a 20,000 people situation.
Yeah.
Whereas it would be cool to do like a 1,000. You know,
I think
1,000
Unfest
people.
was like 2,000.
Yeah,
people,
it's no
right?
camping.
It wasn't that
no one's
many.
camping. Is there a camping festival?
for metal.
Yeah,
Full Terra Assault.
there is camping
Yeah.
at that festival.
Actually,
By the way, if anybody who's watching now is part of that festival, get us and Entheos on it. We're
yeah,
down.
book us.
It looks like a lot of
Book
fun.
us.
It's like the one that I see like, oh, they're doing this.
Yeah,
They get it.
You feel like
well,
you're gonna have
I
fun.
remember going the first time that Animosity went to Europe. We played a couple festivals where people were camped out, and one of them was Hellfest.
Well, Hellfest, that's like
There's like 3
It's
days.
one of the sickest
You
festivals in
had
Europe.
fucking Emperor was playing. You know, like it was.
and they just have
insane.
big campsites.
Yeah.
Just everybody.
And then, but the
camps.
thing is, so we went to some other there was a fest that Converge got. We were with Converge, and they got on. Like they were the only band that got on, but the other bands that were on tour with them just like got to go hang out, and it was crazy. It was like Converge, Wu-Tang Clan, like Amy Winehouse,
like a true mixed genre.
yeah. It was like all over the place. Like the next day, Air was playing.
wow. I feel like that's 100% something that you would not see here.
Yeah, it was like all over the map, like mixed. I think Korn played, you know, just like totally mixed.
Well, I've
Bill.
heard in Europe, like it's not that crazy to like listen to metal or to like go to those festivals and stuff. It's kind of like more of a, like it's more accepted.
Yeah. People kind of listen to both.
I mean, there are like a lot of bands who are metal bands who are gigantic in Europe that can't really draw that much here.
Dude, fucking the guy from Behemoth was on like the Polish American Idol. Like he was like a
Right.
like a
Nergal.
judge. Yeah,
really?
yeah, like a judge on the Polish American Idol. Like that. Like he's a star there.
There you go.
And they're
That's
like
what I'm talking about.
Satanist guy on you know whatever the Polish American Idol's called. Like,
Should we tell the Nergal story?
oh, we could tell the Nergal story. That was
We got a
fun.
Nergal
We got a
story.
What's
Nergal
the
Let's hear
story?
it.
Well, the
Yeah,
guys from
definitely wanna hear
Behemoth,
that.
like, always been big fans of the music. Fucking, they were a huge influence on us, like, for what we wanted to do live when it came to, like, triple, like, live vocals, like, loved them. When we were on the Cannibal tour, our tour met up with their tour, which was, like, them, Watain, some other...
Watain is sick.
Oh, those
I'm
dudes
down.
are a trip.
Yeah, they're
It is
sick.
super
They're like, well, they were like, anyways, the story will
We'll get
evolve.
there.
We'll get there, yeah. But anyways, the Nergal story is like, they were such serious European metal dudes, just like, couldn't have any fun. Like, no,
Yeah.
sir, no fun having for us. We are metal. You know? And our tour was Abysmal Dawn, Exhumed, the guys from Cannibal and us. So, like, Mike Hamilton was in Exhumed, and that, like, all those dudes, like Matt, Harvey, and whoever else was in the band at the time, like just goofballs. We're all goofball Californians. Like
Yeah.
Playing soccer.
just being drunk and like dorky and just
Having
giddy
fun.
and having fun, like
Yeah.
sincerely just having the time of our lives. And the Behemoth tour was like all these like Europeans that were like dressed way too hot for the middle of summer in fucking Kansas. You know what I mean? Just like not having a good time.
Just like leather boots that went up to your knee.
I saw
type of
that.
Yeah, and
situation.
like long sleeve shirts and then jackets, and they're just like sweating and it's muggy. And we're like hanging out in like flip flops and board shorts. Like, hey guys, you guys want to play soccer with us? Because we're like, we got beer too, and it's like we're having a good time. And like, you guys want to come play and hang out?
That's why they're sick and we totally suck.
But like they were just like no, and just not having it, and we're just like whatever. And it got to a point where we're like, we're gonna like purposely like try to make these guys have a good time because we know they hate it. And
We know they hate fun.
Chances are they're having a good time. Too.
they probably they might have been. It didn't look like it though.
They just don't show it the same way.
It really
just
didn't.
can't tell.
I don't know. It seemed like they were
by
having
their rules. Like
for them, suffering is like fun because suffering is metal, and then they can write a whole album about suffering.
Chance walked up to Watain while they're like I don't know what they were doing by their van and offered them a crystal and like some higher vibrations.
I don't
That's
think-
sick.
I don't-
Wait, they were not down for the
No,
higher
I don't. It
vibration?
wasn't Watain. It was the like the kind of stoner doomy band that
Well,
played
I was
before
just
them
gonna
with the
ask,
chick in it.
not to interrupt you, but I was just gonna ask a question. Is there any European band that has ever written an album that's like about hallucinogenics or like about they've tripped and then written an album?
I think Zasther.
I don't know who that
Not
is.
Zasther. No, not Zasther.
So,
no. Zasther's he's like
you know
a
what
one man
I mean, though?
suicide
I feel
project.
like that's
No.
really common in America.
There's a French black metal band
people
that's
love,
really
like
good
death
that
metal
does
is
that.
very like a lot of death metal is intertwined with hallucinogenics.
probably Decapitated. They have that one.
Yeah,
album
organic
Okay,
called
hallucination.
Decapitated. Okay, yeah.
Halluc-
Yeah.
something.
Also,
True.
Soul Niger's pretty trippy.
That's true. That's true.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
so
But anyway,
what you were saying.
Yeah,
Well, anyways,
back to
okay.
your story.
So that's I'm just kind of I guess I'm setting up the vibe of like the things. So it's the end of the night, and the guys from Behemoth have like 3 of the hottest death metal groupie broads like you done ever seen. Like
They have like pythons, just like wearing pythons.
Yeah.
and stuff.
is that true?
yeah, one of them had 4
what I
titties.
remember.
I would believe it.
It's good for the effect.
Yeah, no, but just like smoking hot like metal babes. And there was like one couch in the back, like the little green room dealie at the back of this place we were at. It was like a giant like warehouse facility or something. But anyways,
an
we're like
airplane hangar.
yeah,
kinda
like an
thing.
airplane hangar. But we're hanging out on the couch, and it's like me. No, not Jared. Me, like Ivan, Alex Bent, and we're just like tripping out on how fucking awesome this is. And the guys from Exhumed, and one of the guys from Abysmal Dawn, like the guitar player that was in Isolation and for me for a while. That dude. Anyways, we're all just
Andy.
like Andy, yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, and Charles from Abysmal Dawn and Mike Hamilton, and we're just like cracking jokes and like having a fucking blast, and we're like all cracking up like the 3 chicks that the Behemoth guys are gonna take to the back of the bus and do foul things too. But they like and the guys from Behemoth are just like not even looking at anything. They're just like sitting there, just like not saying a word to anybody, serious as fuck. And we're like cracking their chicks up, just being goobers and having a blast. And then Nergal gets up, and Jared like wanders in from wherever he was at, right, and happens to see that there's an empty seat on the couch. So he sits down, and we're chilling, and I'm like,
Wrong move.
yeah. and I I'm sitting next to one of the guys in Behemoth, and it's like whatever, his chick guy from Behemoth, and then Jared right here, and then all of a sudden like Nergal comes back from probably like taking a piss or getting a beer or whatever he was doing, and he looks, and then he like looks straight at Jared where Jared's sitting, and then like all the Behemoth's dudes, since they're not paying attention to any of the fun, are like also totally aware that Jared has taken his spot. So I feel this elbow. And one of the Behemoth guys is like, hey, if your friend wants to keep his face, he needs to get out of the couch. And I was like, oh, do you mean my friend Jared accidentally sat in Nergal's spot? Huh, that's a harmless crime. Jared, that's Nergal's spot. Get out of there, you goofball. And Jared was like, this is where Nergal was sitting? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take your spot. Here, come on, just take a seat, man. And then he literally he looks like the Terminator. Like he's literally made of like steel, and it takes him like 2 minutes to just sit all the way down. And as soon as he sits down, there's like this sound of like gas release and like and then like he looks at us and he's like, your deaths have been avoided. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. No, but like...
No, he said that.
That was the vibe.
That was the vibe. No, but literally he was like, the fact that Jared sat in that spot, and then like his homeboy was like, if your friend wants to keep his face, he needs to get off of the couch. And I was like, oh, all right. That was just funny. Super fun. No, but the other story...
It could be like, that's a good way to go, though.
Yeah.
Got killed by a
Jared's like, take me out now. Smother me in your metal groupie's titties until I can't breathe. So the other thing was the opening band were doing some kind of, so Watain, dude, they were legit, like, we're like for sure Satanists, and we like for sure do rituals and shit, because like Lucifer like gives us all our good ideas or whatever the reasons are. But they would like, and
they were so into it.
They were super into it. Like they're fucking, like, they had 2 giant coolers filled with pig heads.
For sure.
Their shit stunk. Sure. And like, I remember the tour manager for Cannibal began like, those motherfuckers aren't putting.
They're not going on stage
with no pig heads. They're not putting those fucking ice chests next to any of our shit. Like,
or no, he said we're not going out on stage if those heads go on stage before Cannibal. The Cannibal tour
that's kind of funny. That
Big Pete, shout out.
Like, to somebody
Big Pete, dude.
To somebody who doesn't know, like, Cannibal Corpse, like, couldn't hang. Wasn't down. That's how hardcore this band was that we're talking about.
Well, the shit just stunk. No, it stunk. Like, you could smell their trailer.
They weren't gonna take stage right after that happened.
These unsanitary pig heads.
Because
the band Cannibal Corpse wasn't good with that.
That's funny. Yeah, that is super funny. I don't know put it like that.
Right. We did, though. We saw Watain was playing like at the Masquerade, you know, the venue, the new one. So Watain was playing like across across the like lobby way from us, and we went and watched them, and it does immediately, like, you can smell the stench.
Yeah, but that's like, part of the whole
sickest thing ever.
Yeah, it's like a 4D experience. You're hearing rottenness. Your olfactory senses are picking up rottenness.
That was
like,
actually how I heard of that band, because Evan was like, dude. He went over and checked it out, and he's like, "You guys got to come check this out."
He was like, "It's so sick."
He's like, "Dude, there's like
you have
satanic hymns going on." Like, because when they were setting up, they didn't play like house music. It was just like satanic like hymns. Yeah. It was like
So, anyways,
going on after that, imagine if you were on tour with that.
Dude,
yeah,
I mean, I've been on tour with really smelly stage clothes, and
that's probably why all the other European bands were bummed as fuck, because they just had to smell Watain all the time.
Yeah,
that's why everybody was in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Well, you can't be a Satanist and be like all in a good mood.
No,
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, Chance, my man, right here. Give me something. You know, it's not gonna work.
Satan.
Yeah.
You gotta be like,
hey, bro, do you fucking hate everything that's righteous too? Because I do.
I remember too. This was when Alex Bent was drumming for us.
Oh yeah, there was another thing that happened. Tell that.
Like, wait,
same show.
Oh yeah, I had another thing.
Finish the story.
Yeah. So anyway, Watain like had this section of their dressing room, and for some reason, the promoter thought it'd be a great idea to put our giant cooler of beer that every band was drinking in their little like spot where their little green room part was. And so we had to bust into their green room constantly to grab more beers. And it got to this point where they were legitimately trying to have this like pre-show ritual. Like, they were burning incense. They were doing shit. They were doing like whatever fucking Satanists do.
Dude, we got to move that shelf. We were talking about it before the podcast. Like, the shelf is a nuisance.
Yeah. But they were legit trying to do a satanic ritual. But we just kept busting in to grab more beers. And after a while,
you're like a SoCal bro. Like, hey, sorry guys.
Hey, no, dude, hail Satan and shit for sure. I'm just grabbing a beer. Like, you guys like just
for
like.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Like,
for sure,
like,
Satan. Like, totally.
Yeah, dude. Like, big respect to like Satan and shit. Like, I'm just grabbing a beer. Like, don't mind me. You know. Which is like legit how it went down though, because they were like, you guys need to stop coming into our curtain room. We're doing I don't know what they said, you know, like, we would take this very seriously or something, you know. And then we were like, yeah, dude, like, that's cool, but like the beer's here, so like, sucks for you or whatever. Like, but like, do your thing, like, yeah,
because for you and Satan.
Yeah, because Satan like definitely cares about what you're doing right now. I'm getting drunk. Isn't Satan cool at that? Like.
Yeah, anyways. I feel like that's satanic.
Yeah, super. Right? Yeah. But the other thing that
according to the Mormons,
caffeine, like, don't do that. No, but the other story that Jared was saying was like that one of the other bands was doing some other shit too. They were like burning incense and like doing a thing. And
no.
Wait, you were on a tour? How did this happen? You were on a tour with several bands.
No,
this was satanic.
Two
rituals before.
No, our tour, the Behemoth tour, and the Cannibal tour met up in Kansas, and then they threw a festival around it.
Oh, so this is all surrounding one show.
Yeah, this is just one show, one time. Yeah, we probably would have got like
this is where we
murdered by those other bands.
You would have got crucified upside down.
Yeah. We would have got St. Petered. No, but the we had just we were like super, we're like all into the spiritual shit we're into, and we had just got we got some really nice crystals from Arizona because we were like, yeah, crystals, man.
Sedona.
Fucking.
No, it was Crystal. The state or the city had a name.
It might have been crystal.
Right when you go into Arizona from California, it's called like Crystalline State or whatever, and we're like, let's get crystals here at the Crystal State.
Yeah, crystalline.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like getting weed in Weed County in California.
Yeah. We put crystals in the van too, and which is probably one of the reasons the van didn't die on us like 3 times when it should have.
Of course.
We still believe
but
that.
I mean, hey, it's like
I believe it.
You guys are into Satan, we're into crystals.
Yeah.
It's
like there's both
the same thing.
metaphysical
It's
and
spirituality.
Shit. Like,
no matter how you fucking spin it. Right.
Yeah. Except like the overarching entity that we try to absorb divinity from doesn't eat baby flesh, so it's like it's a little bit of a disconnect.
However, isn't Satanism like more earthly?
Depends on.
I know. I know occultism.
There's
is
like a light form, where
and
it's kind of like you're not totally down, but I feel like there's also a like people take it to the next level. Yeah, always with any religion.
Yeah, well,
so there's gonna be
that's like the inherent problem in religion, right?
Yeah, they're like most like the Church of Satan. They're like, we don't believe in a Satan. No. We think it's like the rebellion of our free will to do and act how we want, as long as it does no harm to other people.
Do what thou wilt.
Which all sounds great, but there's also all these different, ways to interpret that whole thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's probably some dark shit.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, and people, I don't know how true this is, but people say that there's a difference between Satanism and Luciferianism.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
So, but I don't know. Like, I'm sure there's people that take it to the extreme. I'm sure there's some really rad Satanists out there that are just like, I think that a dude with a beard that watches you while you shower, and then once you get up and ask him if you can get into the kingdom, he's like, I saw you masturbate. Not cool. You're done. Like, yeah, like.
I mean, I think
that's absurd for sure.
I think it's safe to say that there is a cool person out there practicing any fucking religion you could ever name up.
Well, another thing you start to realize is like when you get into a religion, quote unquote, there's like a million subsects of the religion.
That's what I'm saying. And there's probably like a really harmless version of like Satanism. You can even call yourself a Satanist.
Totally. It all goes back to interpretation. Yeah. How closely you're going to follow this, how loosely you're going to follow it.
And what little subsect are you?
And what are those? What's the criteria beliefs for that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, so anyway, we had these crystals, and one of the bands is doing this thing, and I was already pretty buzzed up, and I was like, I went up to him and I was like, hey, I noticed you guys are like doing and I probably sounded like a fucking cunt. American,
dude,
Californian.
Like I totally know you're doing like a ritual, bro.
I would have hated me too, probably. But I was like, I see you guys are like doing a ritual. I got a crystal. If you were trying to like amplify the metaphysical like aspects of it, like you can use it. And they're like, no, we don't want your crystal. And
dude, I can't believe you did that.
Wait, who are the guys who were doing that ritual?
It was the opening band. They were like a stoner doomy kind of band with a chick singer.
Okay. Aspiring Satanists.
I don't even think they were Satanists. I don't even know if they were doing a ritual, but they were like burning incense and like doing a thing that seemed ritualistic. Like the Watain guys were 180%
ritually,
like, for sure.
I actually just grabbed this because a guy gave me this at a show in Colorado. A crystal.
Nice.
Is that a crystal or is it?
It's like a worry stone.
Oh yeah, I have like a sick crystal that I got from Unsfest.
This looks like labradorite.
A guy just came up to me at a show, that headliner that we did, our first headliner in Colorado, which was actually really sick. Yeah, it was. And he was like, yo, dude, I want to give you this, man. And I was like, thanks, bro. Yeah. And then everybody else in the band was like super jealous.
Yeah. I was really, me.
Well, you know what?
How come you get a crystal, dude? And I'm like, it's because that's my vibe I'm putting out there.
You're a crystal man for sure. You're crystally. Do you know what one of the main ingredients in microchips is that allows them to hold so much information?
Crystals.
Quartz.
Yeah, quartz.
Really?
Now it's like silicon. I think they like.
Yeah, they probably. Yeah,
the first computers were made with like quartz crystal because it stores information.
Stores tons of information. Imagine the information from the Earth and Mother Gaia that those quartz crystals.
It's probably just a layer of just pure crystal for miles.
I mean, Death had a song about it. So Crystal Mountain.
Oh,
that's true.
Yeah. True that.
Were you still in the middle of a story?
I don't know.
I think it was about the rituals.
So
I know. I'm dying to hear the end of this because we worked our way up to.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, I basically was like, "Hey, do you guys want to use my crystal?" And they were like, "No, stupid, go away." And that was that story. But the Watain guys were like getting pissed because we kept interrupting their ritual to grab beers.
Right.
And
right.
and that was
And then somebody got mad at Alex for wearing a cross.
Yeah.
He had a cross necklace on.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, you should probably like, and like I think he put it in his shirt.
No,
or
they're
something
like,
that.
you should probably tell your friend with the cross shirt, cross tuck it in his shirt. I was like, really? In the middle of the fucking Bible Belt in Kansas?
We're literally.
guy?
Yeah, it's like we're gonna sell
He's
more
in
merch
trouble?
based on- Yeah.
He should have not done that. He should have been like,
I don't think he did.
you guys ought to watch out.
Yeah, you guys want to watch out here in Kansas, because I'll tell you what, the Lord and Savior does not like the choices you're making. Okay, I tell you what, boy, you better get out of here soon.
100%.
European Satanist playing your blackish metal or whatever y'all call it.
But anyways, like this was our third tour ever.
It was a blast, man. Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah. So wait, Chance, you only did 3 tours.
No, I did 5.
Okay.
5?
4. I did the first one with Flesh Consumed, and
Brain Drill, Black Dahlia,
Black Dahlia, Cannibal,
Who else was on the
Severed
Black
Savior.
Dahlia one?
Goat Whore, and Abysmal Dawn.
We were on a Goat Whore Black Dahlia bill too.
They
Yeah,
toured
that's
with
actually
each
true.
other a lot.
Remember,
Yeah, it
Trevor
seems
says
like it.
we've toured with each other more than we haven't toured with each other.
Yeah, I think he
Them and
said
Goat
that
Whore.
on our tour too, and it was like 4 years later. So imagine how many times they toured together
man.
between those two.
Those were fucking cool guys too.
Oh, they're great.
Like
I
Sammy.
loved them.
Super cool.
Sammy was cool.
He was like,
Yeah.
I didn't at first when we first hanging out with you guys, I didn't know if I was gonna like you, but you know what, you guys are all right.
Dude, he did that to me too. He did that. Okay, so one night I like
Okay, hold
grabbed
on. This venue had like mountains of like they were just
They had-
storing all their beer like right
in
by
the
the backstage.
backstage.
So it's like
So
Free reign.
I grabbed.
you shouldn't be taking it.
I mean,
obviously,
I
but-
should not have taken it. But I took like a 24 pack of beer and I ran it outside of the merch table and I was like, here, Naveen, hide this because we're taking it.
Super slick.
So
Yeah, and I was like not that.
I
drunk,
got
so I was
caught.
like,
I got
From
caught.
Goat Whore?
It wasn't
This was
cool.
Goat Whore's beer.
no.
No.
They were
It
just
was the
playing the show.
venues. It was the venues beer. So I gave it back and everything, you know. So the next day, Sammy came up to me and he's like, you know, I knew I was gonna like you, but I didn't know I was gonna fucking love you. I was like, all right, it was all worth it.
Yeah.
Like I cried
Yeah.
at the end of the night because I felt so bad. I was like, I'm
No,
a
and we
horrible
got- we
person.
also-
you
I
felt
did
shamed
this.
and
Yeah.
embarrassed.
We also
I
got a
felt
talking
awful.
to. We got a talking to. I've
No,
been
yeah,
the,
you guys
I've,
can't remember.
I've been the one who's got the talking to a bunch of times.
Really?
Yeah, well, I got thrown out of a show before.
What?
The Origin show.
See, I've never done anything
Oh,
like
I
that.
got
Darlings.
thrown out of a show.
Yeah.
Remember when Iron got
Thrown
Yeah.
out of a show.
Yeah, we had our bass player that got thrown out of a show. We got a bunch of stories. Let's
Yeah, well,
All right.
I got
these
thrown
up.
out of a show, and I learned a really important lesson at the show. So,
If you're thrown out, you
that
can't
was
play.
that was what I learned about. I learned at the show that I stole the beer from. I was like, if I do a horrible act, like there are some people who are gonna be mad at me, but Sammy from Goat Whore is gonna think that I'm like
Badass.
rad. So you know, it's like it's the scales, they kind of neutralize themselves.
because after that, you were like down.
I was
it was
like-
like Cheney's down.
Well, I was like, Sammy likes me, dude. That's like, I'm in.
But
That
okay,
was,
so
like,
I
that was
actually
worth it.
I actually
Yeah,
was-
that's a good
what I'm
feeling.
saying.
it was worth it. It was totally worth it.
Totally.
Totally worth it. Because actually,
They got their beer back in the end.
no, because
as well.
Ben was down too.
Yeah, no,
He was
they,
like,
no, it
"Oh,
was
for sure,
It was
dude."
actually,
Like-
it was actually,
They probably
Sammy
drank
and
most
Ben,
of that 24 pack you stole.
Sammy and Ben kind of cornered me, and Sammy said it
like,
to me, and
"Oh, hell
Ben
yeah."
dapped me. Yeah, it was like a. So I felt like it was initiation.
Oh, that's pretty cool, dude.
Of course, the elders would approve too.
Because
Like,
those
yeah.
guys are fucking legendary.
Oh,
legends.
man,
Yeah.
total,
Pure legends.
utter
Real.
legends.
Especially
Dude,
Ben.
Soylent Green.
Ben.
Oh no, fucking
Acid
Sammy
Bath.
too. Crowbar. He was in Crowbar.
Dude.
for a
Come on,
minute.
dude.
Acid bath.
I
Soylent
saw
Green.
Sammy in Kansas City on the last tour that we played with Beyond Creation, and it was just like we'd just come off the tour.
He remembered
last
you?
time. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh, you guys
cool,
toured
man.
with Beyond
That's
Creation
fucking
too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Those guys.
2019. Yeah.
19. Oh, that's
That was our
after we
last
toured.
tour.
That's after.
Oh,
we-
damn.
With Fallujah too.
Oh word. Awesome.
What's your? I wanted to. What's your?
Oh yeah.
Your story?
So I was
hear
actually just going to a show, and it was at like one of these, like in Oakland, kind of like a more warehouse type venue,
that. Mhm.
and they had porta potties, but they were inside.
Are all of the Bud Lights drinking?
There's
There's one more. Should we re-up on
there's
this?
some more in there.
Here, I'll go get some more Truly.
I think Cheney's probably heard this story, but so yeah, I was like watching Origin, and I had to pee, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I go to the line, but this is all inside, right? And there's like a fucking huge line to get in these porta potties, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm just gonna go piss behind the porta potty. So I go behind the porta potty, take a piss, but it's in some warehouse, like in the venue.
Mm-hmm.
And then
like that would fly outside.
yeah. So here's where the fatal error. I was buckling my belt up while I was walking away. And someone saw me and was like, dude, did you just fucking pee behind there? And I was like, oh, I got fucking kicked out. And I was like kind of drunk. And then I was like outside like, man, I got fucking kicked out. Fuck this shit. You know, like, fuck this venue, you know, doing the drunk guy thing. And like a bunch of my friends came out and were like, dude, Naveen's the drunk guy outside who got fucking kicked out. And they were all hella laughing at me. And it was awesome, to be fair. To be honest, it was sick. I was like, I'm the shitty drunk guy who got kicked out. You know what I mean?
That's fucking hilarious. What about you? What's your getting kicked out story?
Remember?
Project Revolution?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant it kicked out of a show you're playing on tour. Yeah, that was a funny.
I don't think I've ever
day.
been kicked out of a show that I'm
on tour. I don't think I've been.
We played a show in New Orleans on the Severed tour, and it was Anthony's
shot. It was so shot.
But it was Anthony's birthday.
You know how shot shows go.
Totally. But
Everybody
New Orleans
just
rules though.
No, but that wasn't the issue. That wasn't the issue. The issue was it was someone's birthday, and we get there at noon, and we start drinking fucking grenades with
it's New Orleans.
with what's that fucking Everclear shit in it.
Yeah,
And
those Mondo drinks.
Mondo
Dude,
drinks
I love
with like
those.
fucking
Grenades
rubbing
with
alcohol in them.
Dude, those rule.
And we ended up
Grenades.
getting 7 kinds of twisted sideways. And
Fishbowl.
me and Jared were somewhere else, and we show up to the venue, and our bass player, Ivan at the time, was like, fucking go just fucking place, don't fuck you, motherfucker. We're like, what happened? And they're like, I guess they fucking kicked me out. And I was like, oh shit, all right, well maybe we could talk to somebody. And we go in and we're like, hey man, what's up? Like, Ivan got kicked out. And they're like, yeah, he fucking went behind the bar, started pouring drinks, and like slapped the bartender's ass.
Yeah, he did some inappropriate shit.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, he just started taking bottles off the wall and drinking them. And
That is pretty inappropriate, to be fair.
but
Yeah,
we love
he
you,
went behind the
Ivan. We
bar
love
and they
you.
fucking-
The Chupacabra, and no disrespect, my brother.
He's a legend.
But he's also a motherfucking monster.
That's why we call him the Chupacabra.
in the best way. Like, this dude he's like the Frank the
He's
Tank.
a legendary.
There is no stopping the Chupa when he gets going. But
He was chooped out.
He was chooped out.
Chooped out.
And so we had to play the show without our bass player, and we were already blackout drunk before we even went on.
I almost got confrontational with him, or he was trying to get confrontational
Yeah.
with me, and he was so blacked out that I was just like, "This ain't gonna happen." You know, I was mad at him because we're like, "Oh, we're not gonna play with the bass player." Like going back, like it wouldn't have been the worst thing. I probably would have just like now been like, "Oh, sit this
Thrown
one out."
on tracks.
But it also it was literally just one less blacked out person to sound awful on stage because we got up there blacked out of our minds and we're just like, this song is called Dissolution to like 12 people at One-Eyed Jack's.
Yeah, dude, that place is sick. That's where we played, I think. Jay.
Where?
On the Rivers and Isle tour.
Where's it at?
One-Eyed Jack's.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, that is 500%.
That place
where
is
we
sick,
played,
dude.
yeah.
I'm down for that place.
I like Nolans.
I love
Dude,
fucking
I
New Orleans,
love
dude.
Nolans.
man.
That's one thing that I'm excited about with Tennessee. I'm
That
trying
we're
to
gonna
drive,
live
make some
close enough
weekend
to, like,
drives down to
drive
get some
down there.
beignets and some.
You know how far away New Orleans is from Tennessee?
Yeah, like 8 hours.
Really?
I don't know.
Dude.
I feel
No,
like
I looked
that's
up
on
the
the-
time. I looked up the time. Look it
That's
up
on
now.
the
Look it
that's
up
on
real
the
quick.
right side of Texas, huh? Maybe. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, but bro, once
8 hours, that's it?
you get past California, everything is actually close together.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I miss about the Midwest. It's like Chicago is 6 hours from Des Moines, Minneapolis is 4 hours,
Wow,
Kansas
that's
City
fucking
too. Hold up, I'm gonna look this up. Yeah,
I'm looking it
Naveen's
up.
gonna look it up.
Cool. Nolans to
New
from
York City, New York City to Nashville,
That's
12
gotta be
hours.
close.
Wow.
That's not going to be that far.
See what we're looking at here.
Nolans.
Nolans.
7 hour 25, dude.
That's a day trip.
That's like me driving down to Southern California to go see Noisia.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
an
That's
hour.
a little
yeah,
longer.
that's a trip
That's
from Northern
overnight.
California
Yeah.
to Southern
See,
California.
that's what I'm most stoked about moving.
Whoa,
is
that's
like,
cool. There's a ton of cool shit out
I want to go
there.
explore
Yeah.
shit, dude.
You got the Smoky Mountains. You got the Appalachians out there.
Hell, 100%.
You got all kinds of real nice stuff out there back east, down south.
Wait, where did you say that your dad is from?
Oh, my dad's from Georgia, so I got a bunch of family in Florida and Georgia. My sister lives in Tennessee. I just got back from Tennessee, actually, too.
Oh yeah, where were you?
Lenore City.
Lenore City.
Lenore City. But I got a good friend who, our buddy Mason, who's, if it wasn't for his big brother, our Arkaik might not even exist.
That's true.
But yeah, one of my best buds.
Wait,
Jared's
why?
good. Because so
You can look back.
Oh,
to
this
the
is
seed moment.
this is origin
or the
moment,
seed
the
sort of
origin of
things.
Arkaik.
You gotta talk into the mic, brother.
Yeah, you gotta sit forward, bro.
The very seed.
The very seed, man. So
Was- Go ahead.
planted.
Mason's older brother.
Mason's older brother, Chris Jeffries.
Who
Big
lives in
shout out.
Nashville now.
Last time we did a podcast, I had to give a shout out to the Chris Jeffries. I hope.
Yeah, we
I hope the
always shout out Chris Jeffries because he's
finds
like
out that
our,
we're shouting him out.
He was our Yoda.
He was
for
our Yoda, yeah.
death
Hell
metal.
yeah.
So me and my buddy
He's
Mason.
like start a
Was
death
he
metal
like
band.
the cool older brother who like
Yes. Yeah.
showed you death metal?
Was in a band.
He was in a
Everyone-
band.
everyone
Thrones
needs-
And
and
his band
Scorn.
was sick.
Yeah, there's some kind of older brother or older person in any situation,
Yeah.
right?
But like, so he was always like, "Don't touch my shit. Don't go into my room." Like he literally
He was
had
Buzz from Home Alone.
no. Well, he was like the metal
quite.
Buzz. He was like
Like Buzz is like, don't touch my shit.
Yeah.
A locker full of
he
cool
would,
shit.
he would show us music. We would go in his room and play Super Smash Brothers, and he would show us stuff. He was like, don't ever come in here when I'm not here. You know what I mean? And so we were like, sure, you got it, Chris. Wouldn't dream of it. And we would skip school and we would sneak into his room and we would just pick albums based on like names of
100%,
bands or like
100%. 'Cause
He
album art.
labeled everything.
Yeah, and he was all on the
Alphabetically.
dude. And
Yeah.
this was the Napster era, so he was just like, and like, but he would also get those Nuclear Blast and Metal Blade like catalogs.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
like we would be home, and he would come home. He's like, "Mom, did you get the mail?" Because he was like in high school at this point too, or maybe just graduated, and he would just have stacks of albums. He would like burn stacks of Napster albums and then go through them, and the ones he likes, he would buy them. So, anyways, we would sneak into his room when we'd skip school, and we would pick
That's
bands.
definitely a death metal Buzz situation.
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
But dude, and because of him, we were introduced to so much music that we would never have been otherwise. Because
Archaic. That's what it sounds like.
yeah,
All the music that
we grew up, and I was like, Jared, you got to check
it all
this shit
came
out.
from his library.
Yeah,
Wow.
like the first time I
think
ever
that
heard
has the
Winds
most
of Creation.
impact on you, you know? Like,
Yeah. Those moments, those are formative moments. Like we would be playing Super Smash Brothers, me, Mason, in Chris's room, and he had these like giant KLH speakers with 15s. Like he was like an audiophile, you know what I mean? Like he had stacks of jazz albums right next to his black metal, right next, and everything was labeled in genre. Like the dude, you know, he still is this like
Still exactly
to this
like that.
day.
Oracle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just
He's a wizard.
he's an audiophile,
Yeah.
like we all are, you know. But like we were playing Super Smash Brothers, and he had this amazing fucking system. And the first time I heard Winds of Creation was on that. It was like he was listening to something that I was like not that into or whatever it was, and then the disc changed because he had like a 200 disc CD player, so it would be like, you know, that
Wow.
those moments where like the CD would stop, then you'd hear like.
Yep.
And then the disc would fall into place, and you're like, I wonder what's coming next. And there's this liminal space, this like
Yep.
sacred space of
Yep,
like
100%.
not knowing what's coming next and wondering. And that's where we were. We were existing in that void at that moment. And all of a sudden, yeah. Dude, I was like, that intro, especially as like we were like in middle school. I was probably like 14 years old. I was like, and I thought the gnarliest shit at that point was probably like, you know, like Machine Head. You know what I was?
Yeah.
You know, and I hear that.
Pantera or
Slipknot.
Yeah.
Something.
Slipknot.
Yeah. Something like
And
that.
I hear the intro to Winds of Creation. Hoobastank.
I'm just kidding, by the way.
Stained.
I before I got to death metal, I was like, I had my Stained
Mud Shovel?
era. Yeah,
Bro,
Mud Shovel.
I was
Bon Jovi.
I had
that whole album.
There was a
Dysfunction's
boy
good.
in middle school who made me like a mixtape, and it had Stained on it, and it actually had a Creed song on it as well.
Can you take
It wasn't
me
higher. It wasn't higher.
Dude, their first album was like, I remember hearing that on
It
the
was
radio.
off the first album.
Yeah.
It was
I should have
totally,
been dead on
Yeah.
a Sunday morning.
Yeah, it was the first
Mark
album.
Tremonti had good tone.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think he still does.
yeah, he does. He's got his own band. Music, man. Music
Yeah.
brings wild things together that you sometimes would never have imagined.
Everybody I know is through music.
Check this out.
Straight up.
if you, all of us, look around at all the best things in our life, they're all came from music.
100%.
Every single thing.
100%.
Everything.
And and honestly, namely like metal, weird underground music, which
Yeah.
is like such a blessing in itself.
Well,
you know?
because when you're into like the type of metal that we're all into, it like brings together a specific group of people.
Yeah.
Like you'll
You're
weed
just
people
certain,
out.
it's a certain
Like-
personality.
Yeah, it's
type,
like a
you know?
filtration system.
100%.
You, know?
You meet people that are metal, and you're just like, cool, we're metal. It's like, we're good.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
is like it is a common.
It's like
ground.
playing the same chord.
Exactly.
We all resonate at a certain chord.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking like every single person I'm really good friends with I'm not related to them is through metal.
Every person.
Same with me, but not metal, but music in general. Like,
Yeah, music in general.
Music. It's like when you travel and you backpack through places and you stay at hostels and you meet people that also travel. It's like a certain personality type that like 9 times out of 10 they're cool fucking people. They want new experiences. They're open. They're personable. You share common interests, and you're looking for the same kind of things existentially, and you vibe on that level. And that personality type, like when you meet them in music, if they're not like, you know, because music, the spectrum of music is like you're usually cool or solid or you're a weird fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's very few in-betweeners in music. You're either like super dope or you're like kind of a weird fucker. Like there's like very few like, I'm just a regular guy. Yeah, and I'm also
Yeah.
too, you know what I mean?
Most people are really cool, honestly.
Yeah.
Think about how many people we've gone on tour with and I've done before that. It's like the people who are not cool like stick out.
Yeah.
You know? But it's like hundreds of people that are just awesome.
Yeah.
You know, just great people to hang out with.
And there's like musicians themselves, like they all are like similar. Like they're a breed of human.
Yeah. It's a personality.
Like there's a German Shepherd, there's a pit bull, and there's a musician. And they all kind of sort of function a lot the same and stuff.
Yeah.
Totally.
They have the same traits. They have the same likes and goals, and they also like to try to, I don't know, my weird brain likes to conceptualize abstract concepts for some reason. But like usually if you're a musician, you're like striving for something like outside of yourself. You know what I mean? You're pushing, you're like there's a higher goal or a higher purpose, which is to like either like make a band happen or like have a message through the band or something. There's like you're like pursuing something bigger than yourself.
Yeah. I think that's a really
It's a
good
calling.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Not like a pretentious, pompous way, but like you have something.
Sometimes you don't even like it, the calling.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're
That's
like,
very
fuck,
true.
I
And
hate being on stage. I
Yeah.
don't even like, but I'm good at fucking music.
Yeah.
And it's like a genuine thing, you know. It's not like a lot of people won't even realize that they're doing what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, you'll just be like for me, for a number of years, most of my life, I didn't think like I'm fulfilling this calling. You know, I was kind of just doing what I do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
almost
that's
like,
it. It's not like something that you're putting on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
like
I'm
much-
going to try out like being
No,
this musician.
but
type.
tourists, they don't last long. You'll
That's the
you'll
thing,
know
though.
a tourist.
Yeah.
There's
you
this other
totally-
thing where, like, you actually outlast people who are just doing it for not the calling, not because they
bands.
want it.
Yeah.
It's like
People and bands.
The calling is like a lot of times not willing. It's kind of like,
Absolutely.
all right, you're good at this. You should do it. You should follow it through and keep following it through, even though a lot of the times you don't even like 90% of what it takes to do
Totally.
it.
Totally.
Or the path to that is like not always ideal. You know what I mean? Sleeping in vans, not making a lot of money.
Oh yeah, a lot
whatever.
of people can't deal with it as well. I mean, I could name probably 3 or 4 bands that the year that our band came out and put out our first EP, these bands were fucking hype. And it was like, this is the next big band, who aren't even bands anymore.
Yeah.
Because, you know, just for one reason or another,
Yeah.
the people in the band didn't want to do it anymore. They didn't.
They weren't doing it because
They love it.
mean, and it's degrees, and everybody's different. And
That's what happens with our mic stands. That's the
this
downfall.
sucks. Here, I'll fix
It's the downfall of buying 4 mic stands for like $50.
Mike stands on a musician's budget. Hey,
Go ahead, Jared. Keep ripping.
Yeah, keep ripping.
ripping.
Keep ripping.
Yeah, I don't know. You just like you do it because you have to.
and
Well,
You love it.
you love it.
Of course, you have to love
But-
it. You can't not love it and then also have to.
But also, even if you don't, whatever it is, make it. Like I would, like, you know, like making.
There's
music-
no making it though.
Yeah.
I mean, especially
But you would do it no matter what, right? You would make music regardless of what the outcome is. I feel like.
Well, I feel like that's why a lot of us end up in like technical music is because
it's bodily function. That's what I call it.
Yeah. Like,
bodily function.
No matter what happens in the long run, I will always make music in some kind of way because for me it's like an outlet.
Absolutely.
It's like
that's what I'm doing.
It just happens.
That's what I'm doing.
Like I'm always thinking in music. Like I hear music in my
all
head
the
all
time.
the time.
Totally.
I have to like.
It's almost like psychotic.
Yeah,
how much I think about music,
skits.
you know? Yeah.
You're almost music.
Well, have you ever been around like people who are not into music very much and you just want to talk about it so much? Because I talk about music a lot. Like it's a lot of what I'm into, what I do, what I want to talk about. And I'll be around people who don't talk about music or care about music as much as I do. And it's like, you need to like calm down a little bit.
But also like, I just don't talk to people. I'm just like, you know, they're like, man, Chance is quiet. And they're like, oh, did you know he's a musician? And they're like, oh,
that's why he's quiet.
Then you wake up a Chance.
Yeah.
But like if I, you know, like if
then you wake up a giant, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, yeah, dude. I'm like, have you heard of the Cut Bellion, dude? No, just kidding.
Have you heard of Secret Chiefs?
Yeah, have you heard of Secret Chiefs? They're like, what do you like? What kind of music do you listen to? And then, you know, they'll give you their like.
Well, you know how there are like a few like musician bands that people always go back to that aren't really like people will be like, oh, you love Fleetwood Mac? Listen to this drum part in Fleetwood Mac. Like it's just, and you're like, no, dude. I mean, you get it, but it's not like
like when
they aren't like latching on.
It's like when someone's like dad is like, "Oh, you're Chance, you're in music,
you're a musician,
dude. You got to hear the drum solo from Jeff Beck." You know, or whatever, you know, and you're just like,
exactly.
I actually, dude, Fleetwood Mac are really
dude,
good.
Fleetwood Mac. See, the thing is, Fleetwood
Mac.
Mac is like one of my favorite bands
but
in the world.
Am I gonna freak out about the drum solo?
No, but I'll freak out.
Probably not.
But their composition is really good.
Oh, dude, I mean,
they were great songwriters.
Bro, we saw Fleetwood Mac. It was like one of the best shows I've ever seen.
When did you see him? I saw him a couple years ago on
It wasn't
Thanksgiving.
with Lindsey Buckingham.
No, and it was the guitar player for.
Tom Petty.
Same tour.
Right,
same
right.
tour.
Yeah, we saw them in Des Moines.
Honestly, that was
we went with my parents.
Dude, right when they came out, it was just like tears just streaming down my face.
Same for me. I mean, I
cried like so much.
The White Witch just still killing it. She sounded great.
She
really does.
Awesome,
like her voice,
dude.
She really does.
Freaking so sick.
Yeah, I mean, Stevie Nicks. I heard someone say that she hates Stevie Nicks like a person, and I was like, I honestly don't trust you. Yeah. You hate Stevie Nicks' voice?
That's sus.
Kind of a red flag.
Sus.
She might have been. She probably was a bigger fan of the other chick that was the Fleetwood Mac
Christine
singer.
McVie.
Yeah, she was a McVie.
I mean,
Team
Christine
McVie.
Yeah, there's some kind of
McVie
vendetta
did
that they're holding.
Shitload of good songs.
She is badass too.
That's suspicious.
But she just didn't have the. She just didn't have the chutzpah that.
Well, but Christine McVie. I mean, dude, Don't Stop. That's Christine McVie and Lindsey Buckingham. That's not Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
What about I Want to Be With You Always?
Stevie just created like the
Christina McVie?
I Want to Be With You Everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's Christine McVie.
Stevie was a star though. Christine McVie was a brilliant artist,
song.
but Stevie was a star. That's why she blew up. She had the look. She had the vibe.
She's got the witchy thing.
She knew how to sell it. Like
for sure.
That's what's so cool about those like old bands. They had like multiple vocalists.
Yeah,
it wasn't just about one.
Like Chicago had 6 vocalists.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Or even the Eagles.
Dude, yeah, but who cares if you're not Don Henley, you don't be singing. No,
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I'll drink.
After we watched that Eagles documentary, I was like,
was good.
I was like, oh wow, every song is the Eagles.
Or
Didn't
Fleetwood.
realize that.
It's Eagles or Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
It's either of those two.
Yeah, but I mean, Cheney got me way into Fleetwood Mac. I mean, she didn't like try to, but just listening. It's like her favorite band.
Yeah,
so
and it grows on you.
Yeah, I'm just like, fuck, I love Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
I get work.
What do you guys think about an Entheos cover of Fleetwood Mac?
How would you do it then? How would you do it?
You'd have to be pretty darn creative.
No, I would sing it, but I would sing it.
Well, what song would you do?
No, you'd have to scream it.
I would do a Stevie Nicks song.
Yeah. Break the chain. What is it?
I'm not really into that. I'm not really. I don't know.
I think that would be corny. I think if you screamed it would be corny.
Yeah,
you'd have to reword.
No, I would sing
it. You'd
it.
have to scream it then.
No, I'd just sing it.
Well, a thing that I like to do if I was doing like a remix or like a cover, I'll take the melody and then you can write new chords around it.
Yeah.
You kind of like harmonize it or whatever. You have to do something like that.
You would have to take like if it's
You would
a
have to make a twist on it,
G, A, E
but-
sort of chorus, then you'd have to make a riff out of the G, then an A, and then an E. But you could still
But you could
I would
work
just-
around.
Yeah.
but this screaming.
necrophagous out.
I don't know.
those-
There's something about screaming a song that's sung that's hella corny.
But
Well,
also,
you're,
I feel
you're
like
trying to throw the Entheos thing on it.
But you don't,
Entheos has singing in
you don't
it,
have to
though.
shoehorn metal. in.
So, so
Is that
So
is that
it
a
would be
tease
the
to the new
Entheos
album,
thing.
or did
No,
you
not
always have
really.
singing? I'm not gonna lie, I've never
No.
heard Entheo.
Singing is
Oh,
hard.
that's sick.
Props
No,
for
there's-
you.
That's tight.
yeah, no, they're singing on the new Entheos. It's never been on Entheos before.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but that's not like a secret or anything. We've been pretty honest about that.
Talking about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it would just be a sung thing for sure.
That'd be cool. What? Yeah, that'd be cool. You guys should.
or
do
what
that, actually.
other if
That'll blow up on
what,
TikTok.
what cover what
Damn.
cover song would you do if you were to do one?
It would be
Dying
a Steven.
fetus.
Oh, a cover song?
No,
Like
but it
any
can't
song?
be a death metal band. You have to do you have to do the
I think
Entheos
Fleetwood
version
Mac
of a
had a song
song
called
that's not
Dying
in your
Fetus.
Cannibal.
genre.
I think
Cannibal.
that is.
I've always wanted to do Cannibal. That's
Can't be in
fun with
any-
I know.
it can't
I
be
want to do
metal.
Scourge of Iron.
Can't be metal.
Dude, Scourge of
They-
Iron.
A cover
Fleetwood Mac.
song?
Yeah, Fleetwood
Yeah.
Mac.
A Fleetwood
don't-
Mac song? Fuck.
I'm not fully into. I don't know. I haven't really thought about cover songs.
We could probably
We've
figure
covered.
something out.
We've covered a Chelsea Wolf song before, but I mean
that
as
makes
far
sense.
as doing like an entire.
It has to be a popular, everybody knows it song.
Huh.
What
it
would
would
you
be-
do, big,
it would be
big
like-
man?
It would probably be Rhiannon. Like if we were talking about Fleetwood Mac, it would be Rhiannon.
I feel like you
Because Rhiannon is like the most like laid back, like low vocal.
I
don't know how to
I feel like
explain
you could
it,
do a
but-
banging tune out of "Break the Chain" or whatever.
Yeah.
Damn,
yeah. It'd be cooler if you made it like a little more demented.
That's what they
Yeah.
opened with.
That'd be cool.
When we saw them.
and you can make that heavy. Like that's got some like kind of groovy vibes.
That's
so
true.
If you threw some,
That's true. See, that's what I'm saying. We need to get rid of those fucking shelves.
Oh, we were trying to have decorations.
No, that would be
but,
cool too. Yeah.
Looks pretty good though, actually.
I don't know. The reason why I ask is because
I flail
think
when I
about
talk,
that
so don't
sometimes.
mind.
No, I do too. What do you think you would cover?
I don't know. Like, I think the sound,
Non-metal?
the sound of silence would be a good one if Disturbed didn't already do it to a millionth degree.
Yeah. So you're talking about like something that you would actually take metal. Okay, I see. I see you.
Something that's like
It would have to just be the
Yeah.
song that you hear it and you're like, that would actually be a really
You know what
cool
I was
metal
doing
song.
the other day?
You know what I mean? You couldn't
Okay.
force it.
I know.
The other day-
Sometimes I
The other day I was
Sometimes-
covering a song though. It was The Nightmare Before Christmas. Not everyone knows that song, but it's the dun 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 dun.
Didn't Marilyn Manson do that one?
Yeah, but it's not like super metal. I was doing it screamed.
Oh, okay.
Like pitched screaming.
That would work. That works.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was pretty fucking sick actually.
That would work. That would work. That would
because
be
that
cool.
yeah, but that riff too.
Yeah, that could be cool. If someone was, but I feel like it would be cooler if it was like pitched screaming as opposed to just like a high and a low. You know what I mean? Like if you're kind of like screaming along to it, it'd be sick.
Yeah.
I want to I want to
else?
for
What
the
else would
first
be cool?
time ever show a cover song that Arkaik did that almost nobody knows about
Damn.
to you guys right now
Show it.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
on
Is
the
it on the
podcast.
internet?
I have the link for it.
Okay, send it to me.
What's the best way?
Email.
Is it? Has it been released?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Ooh,
do
the
that.
anticipation.
Send
Cover
it to
songs are a
Naveen
weird. I don't know.
Copperweiss at
Cover songs
Gmail.
are like a weird place for me because I'm not the most into cover songs, and you never.
Can't spell your last.
No problem.
I have never felt like I can do the other person justice. It just sounds different no matter what.
Yeah.
With your own voice on it,
But I feel like if it's something that you dig and you do it in a cool way, it's
then
like
it's cool.
yeah, you're like, wow, that's badass.
That's true. Very true. I don't disagree.
I think if you're gonna write albums, but I'm also into this idea of taking stuff that's like in the mass consciousness and
Pulling it back and doing it.
doing an archaic version of it. You
Yeah,
would
I feel
that.
it.
That's kind of like, how would you even do that?
I'm not against
not a
it.
bad
That's
idea.
for sure.
And a cool
It's
B-side
not a
never
bad
hurt
idea.
nobody.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
very
my
true.
attempt at that.
All right.
Hell yeah.
let's,
Oh, it's
yeah,
the
this is
Friends
fun.
theme?
This
Okay,
is
I'm
fun.
stoked.
This is so fun.
oh Lord. We're
This
loading.
came to me in Trader Joe's.
It's so
The
Makes
one in
sense.
Santa Cruz or a different
Yeah,
one?
in Santa
Okay,
Cruz.
cool.
And I
Wait,
texted.
so if you guys want to go to Trader Joe's, you have to go to the 41st Avenue one. That's the closest one to you.
yeah.
Damn.
Shara hits it after work because she's coming that way. But we ain't got no Trader Joe's in Watsonville.
No.
There's not one in Watsonville.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
There's a Staff of Life like walking distance.
Which is kind of surprising.
That's right. That's right.
It's a good grocery
Sorry, this
store.
is loading. It's
Life's no fun without a good scare.
It's gonna take forever, basically. Might not work. I don't know.
Wow. Well,
Can
we'll
you
see.
play it on your phone?
No, I'm.
Hold it up to the microphone.
We gotta hear it.
You gotta hear
Alright.
it.
So the whole
okay.
idea though came from, I don't know why I got the idea in my head, and then I sent it to Alex, our guitar player, and I was like, "Hey, here's something funny. Like, could you turn this into like a archaic version?" And he actually did it.
That's sick.
We're not gonna hear it though. So, well.
Play it off of your phone and play it in the microphone.
Oh no! Here we go. I got it,
it's
I got it,
loaded.
I got it.
Fucking
Should he wait for it
Dropbox.
to load. Or?
No, we're good. We're loaded.
All right.
100% locked and loaded.
Here we
Hold
go.
on, hold on. This is a KoperCrabb premiere.
Exclusive.
Yeah, KoperCrabb premiere.
Exclusive.
Okay, this is sick. All right.
See, you reharmonized it.
Yeah. It sounds like a sick death metal song. All right, I take it back. I would cover.
Okay, I know why he was talking about covers the whole
I know.
time.
This is why you brought it up.
I had a list of topics, and I was like, I got to bring this up.
Oh, you have a list?
Yeah. I only have 3 other things on the list. We're gonna get to them all.
I love it. Actually, Chaney and I tried to do a show last week.
Hold on, we're interrupting the Friends theme song.
The lyrics are super funny.
See, but you guys kind of changed the tone of it. You know, it's not like straight up the same song.
Yeah. But the lyrics are the same.
Yeah. No, I get that.
There it is. Little lead.
Wait, it was your idea to do this?
Yeah.
Why though?
I don't know. It's just super random. We actually executed on it.
Yeah, you did a
You
great
did.
job on
You
it.
did.
Yeah, that sounded good. That's a very interesting.
All right, you want to know what's
Follow through.
next on my list?
Yeah.
Let's hear it. What you got?
Did-
That was actually
why didn't
great.
you put it
I
out, though, is
respect
the
that.
question behind it.
When you subscribe to our email list,
You
can
might get that.
Okay. That's a Patreon item.
no, it's free. Go.archaicband.com.
There we go. We
Boom.
need an email
Go
list.
tell all your friends.
It's hella professional.
You gotta,
Yeah,
you
that's-
gotta have an email list.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta have
better,
an
dude.
email list.
I've
if
been going
Facebook
like.
ever dies or any other medium, email will still exist.
True that.
I've heard that. I've also heard text is a good thing.
Text is a thing.
A
yeah,
text
but-
list.
Yeah, you don't want to blow up all of your people who listen to your band with a text.
Although
you
it
have
would
a text
kind of be
limit.
cool
It depends.
though.
Block
It depends.
you.
A lot of
It's-
artists do that.
Dude, if
actually,
Dying
yeah.
Fetus texted me and was like, "Hey, we just put out a new shirt design," I'd be like, "Fuck, that's
Okay, if it
no.
that's true if it
know
were
what I'm saying?
fetus, but I have like Alexi from a store, eyebrow something store, hit me up every day, and I'm kind of like,
eyebrows."
Well, 'cause-
I'm a little
so
over it.
every day that's a little too much.
It's
People
literally
don't-
every
yeah,
day.
not
be
unsubscribe.
selective
Every day.
about the shit, dude.
yeah,
Like,
maybe
every
once a
in while.
month.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
don't want to
Twice
take
a month.
advantage of that kind of
Yeah, they're taking advantage.
marketing.
Fully.
That's like personal like marketing. Like you don't want to be text people every day.
That's true.
All right, let's talk about Travis Scott.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, I don't really know about it.
Me either. I don't have no idea.
So he threw
I actually like Travis Scott a
he
lot.
threw a
Did
festival.
you like his music?
Dude, Travis Scott is sick.
The first 2 albums I was way into, but after that I kind of fell off. I
What
guess
is
you
he
could
at
say.
now?
I don't know. I fell off, like I said.
I don't know his music, but I know he has his own meal at McDonald's, and he just threw a festival that killed like 8 people.
Yeah, no, go
Yeah.
11.
Cheney was telling me that. Today.
Yeah, I heard
the
that
time of
people-
this recording,
but I don't
11
know
people.
anything that happened.
And a lot of the
What happened there?
shit that was going on stage was very like sus, like ritual sus. If
Well,
you're
yeah,
into conspiracy
it's all
theories.
kind of dark. Like, ain't the brightest butterfly kind of shit.
But somehow they threw a festival.
Butterfly
and-
Effect. That's a Travis
Wait,
Scott song.
how
A
did
good one,
people
by the way.
die though? How did they
because
die?
they were
Uh,
crushed.
yeah,
because
crushed.
people
Okay.
were rushing
Crushed.
the stage.
Okay. I'd heard that they died.
hold
I
on a
didn't
second.
really read any further into it.
Already sued. Look at that. Travis Scott sued
But, like-
by injury. Fan.
How does that happen? Like, how? Like, did they just? Did they over?
Travis
sell
Scott has been
tickets?
named in one of what is expected to be several lawsuits over the MASH casualty into suit. Blah, blah, blah.
Incident.
Into suit. That's what I call it. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's really sad.
It's crazy. I mean, I've been like, how does that happen at a festival? And
this is how it happens. Too many people. They're all whacked out. Like, they're insane.
What exactly
they're like going
happened,
insane
though?
around Travis Scott. I don't know.
What
Apparently
exactly
it's just,
happened?
It's so fanatic that we just want to party on top of.
How did they die?
It seems like they were just going so crazy.
Trampled, yeah.
That.
Was it like a mosh pit or
No,
there
like
were mosh pits.
People rushing the stage?
But it was literally people getting crushed because people were rushing the stage, and so
it's saying it details the chaos which unfolded after fans breached a security barricade and trampled each other to get in earlier in the day. The same bum rushing phenomenon that happened at a previous Astroworld festival.
But that was early in the day. What killed people was literally the crowd like moving forward to the front of the stage and people like literally getting crushed.
Yeah, the bum rushing phenomenon.
Yeah. Well, how do you stop that?
That happened to me actually.
I don't know.
When I was at Limp Bizkit when I was a little kid.
It happened to me too. When
I was seeing
Ozfest.
It happened to me at Slipknot.
Yeah. I was getting crushed and my brother had to pull me out.
Yeah.
Of like,
because everyone's trying to get to the front of the stage. And
but for me, it wasn't the front of the stage. Like so at Slipknot, you could go up to this line that they wouldn't let you cross until the first band came on. So there was like a tape line in the floor, and everyone sat at it. So when it was time for the first band to come on, everyone stood up and bum rushed the stage. So we all rushed the stage and it was cool. But at the end of the night, like my best friend and I, who were very small, we were 16 at the time. And there were a lot of like huge metal dudes around us. And at the end of the night, my best friend and I both had huge bruises across the front of our like guts from the barricade. Yeah. And there were security guards who were asking us all night if we wanted to get out. And there were several times that night where it felt like dangerous. But I always was like, I got this. I'm like, I'm just at the sixth show.
Hey, respect to you, because I like at the Limp Bizkit show that I'm talking about. Like I was super small when I was younger. Don't let this
like how I am now.
Don't let this exterior fool you. I was really small.
You're a tiny
until I was like 25, and I had to get pulled out.
Yeah.
It's like, help me, get me out of here. It was like,
but that is the thing about shows.
Surrounded.
Like people, there is like this wave, this pushing wave that you'll feel at shows.
Yeah, it was like not happening.
And I don't know how many people are at that show. So, but it seems dangerous a lot of times.
I rabbit holed on this. I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
So I just went down some TikTok rabbit holes, some Instagram rabbit holes.
Did you see any live footage from people at the show that night?
Yeah. There's just people being carried out on stretchers.
People dropping the people on the stretchers getting dropped because the medics that they hired for that show didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They weren't like they hired.
It seems like it all came from like the collective not caring about each other. Like the collective was down to just rage and on top of whoever. And people were getting pushed down. Apparently there was like a mosh pit that kind of like folded and everybody kind of got knocked down. And then people kind of just partied on top of that.
It was like the crowd moving forward and people not being able to breathe because they were getting squeezed. And certain people, people would go unconscious and no one would be like, oh, we should like help this person. Like people would be on the ground unconscious and everyone was just like indifferent. Like that was like the general consensus.
That's not good.
If you look at footage from the show, everybody has their phone out. Nobody's watching the show. Everybody is filming the show.
That sucks. Straight up.
Like,
not down with that at all.
90% of the crowd is filming the show. Mm-hmm. Who's watching it?
Yeah, well, isn't there... What's that... God, what was that incident that happened where it was like a ton of people were watching a woman being raped? And
it's a psychological thing.
No one called the police. Like everyone just watched. I can't remember the name of the incident that happened. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think it's, it's a mixture of like people who don't actually know how to deal with being at in like a situation like that. There is something about like going to DIY.
It's called the bystander effect.
Well, yeah, the bystander effect.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's a
that's
natural
that's
thing.
it.
Like,
and it came
okay,
from,
it's probably like a survival mechanism. Like, if I get involved in this, do I then, take on some of the risk of what's happening? Or
Well, if you were on the BART, right, and like 3 dudes were accosting a chick that looked like they could fuck you up real good and probably stab you too. Like,
they probably have weapons.
Like, like what would you do?
No, I don't know how people would. You never.
Well, a lot of these people haven't been to like a festival like that. Like a huge
That's it too, yeah.
20,000
or mosh
more.
pits,
or mosh pits.
Yeah.
They're probably really young. They're probably on drugs.
Yeah.
And, like there were some people doing shit too. So that was the whole dynamic is everybody's raging. There's some people, go losing their mind trying to tell people, hey, this person's straight up dead.
Or this person
died.
Like,
is that what
just,
happened?
Yeah. Somebody just died.
Yeah, I mean, there was 11 people that they
8 people died that night.
That's what got
and
reported.
That's the low number. I think that from the real accounts, more people died.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen 11
to keep it,
and it was probably those
keep it secure.
Those were just
like,
the ones that got
only
reported.
8.
You know what I mean? There's probably a ton of people that didn't get reported that died.
That's really, really fucked up and sad.
I was sure that some people died at that show that we were at, Cheney, in Oakland. The shooting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember you guys.
Oh yeah,
when you went to that,
it was
crazy.
insane. Yeah. So I mean, this guy started firing.
That was a
gun up in
different
the air.
situation. It wasn't like people like rushing a
No,
stage.
no.
But
It was people just getting shot.
yeah, what we thought was them being shot
Yeah.
for sure.
But
was
it turns
really
out nothing
scary.
really happened.
Was the guy some guy firing in the air?
Like basically what happened was, so for anybody who missed the podcast when we went into this in detail, but it was like a kind of a punk DIY show, and there was like, it was underneath of a overpass in Oakland, and there was like a stage here, right? And then everybody, like, there was a ton of people there. I mean, it was...
They really were. There were probably like 2,000 people.
Dude,
there.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like
way
thousands. Like,
Dude,
who
it
are
was
these people?
crowds.
Who played?
It was like crowds of people. It was fucking nuts.
That band Gulch played.
Gulch is like ultra OG, like
Yeah, they're sick.
mathcore, right?
I don't know if
Uh,
they're, is it like
they're
mathcore?
more like
They're kind of just like
hardcore.
hardcore, like new school kind of.
Really?
Yeah.
Never mind. I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know what I'm
they
talking about.
played in a couple other bands like similar genre, like punk, hardcore, and
it was super
so
underground.
Cheney was like, it was getting really crazy.
Well, because okay, so we walked in and it was like crowds of people, but it was in a homeless people. It was
like in an
obviously in
encampment.
a homeless encampment.
Yeah, it was fucking
And
crazy.
we
dude.
walked in there while there was still sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
But as the light went down, there were fireworks being shot at the overpass and like bouncing off of the overpass, like Roman candles and shit.
Yeah, like
And it really
bombing
was
off, like,
starting to
imminent, like,
scare me. It,
like-
because the crowd was like gathering in toward each other, but the fireworks were going off, and there was one area where there was like a huge bonfire going on, and it just felt really unsafe.
Yeah.
And there weren't really ways to get out. So it was starting
the
to
stage
scare
is
me.
like here, right? And Cheney and I are like to the right of the stage. Like we're way up in the
But
front.
the stage was made out of U-Hauls.
Yeah, like they had a U-Haul box truck with the back open, and then a U-Haul trailer, like an open trailer.
Yeah, and the band was playing on the
Yeah,
trailer.
it was
yeah, it was a
kind of
total
sick. It was
pop-up.
really sick.
Dude, if nothing would have happened at the show, it would have been the coolest show.
Like
of
I
all
was like,
time.
damn, this is like Ninja Turtles type stuff. You know, this is fucking crazy. And then fucking like just a truck starts like just cruising through like into the crowd, you know. And I was
what?
yeah,
Yeah.
like what the fuck's going
It
on?
was
And I was like, yo,
scary.
Cheney, I was like, Cheney, we need to get the fuck out of here right now. Like we are leaving right now.
I saw the truck and immediately turned around, so I didn't catch.
Yeah, I was
the-
like, this is bad. I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck's going on, but this guy is like going into the crowd, driving a truck into the crowd.
Was he crunching anybody?
You know
we
what?
couldn't tell.
You know
it
what?
seemed like he was.
To me, I was like, okay, people are getting run
it
over.
seemed like he was.
This is not good. And then so he comes like right by us, and we're a few feet away, you know. And fucking dude
We were
rolls down the
literally
window,
12 feet away from this guy, yeah.
rolls down the window, gets out of the fucking car, just firing off a fucking
But
gun.
we couldn't tell where he was firing. So we just heard gunshots and we were kind of turned around and running.
And
at that
everybody
point.
hit the deck.
Yeah.
But the thing that was weird was everybody on the... He basically cut off like a small sliver of the audience, right? Mm-hmm. So now everybody that's on the passenger side, they don't know what's going on.
And they were also on stage side, so they were kind of still watching
and
the
a
show
band was
didn't know
playing,
what was
and the
going
thing
on.
is, so many people were blasting off fireworks, it sounded just like the gun.
It totally did. It was hard to
So,
decipher.
because I have another friend who was there who didn't even know that happened until I texted him the next day.
Really?
I was like, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah, isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah. So I wonder what the fucking point of that whole thing was.
Dude, I don't know.
To keep punk dangerous?
I don't know. So this guy rolls through the crowd, and I'm thinking like, okay, he's running over people for sure. He just shot some people.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like
people kind of hit the deck, and I like kind of went down, and I was like, Cheney, we need to get the fuck out of here now.
But we were like running around fences and stuff, but I had heels on. So Naveen was like running fast in tennis shoes and kind of pulling me, and I would slip. It was just really scary because you could hear the gunshots happening behind us while it was happening, and it did seem like there was a good portion of the crowd who had run out with us.
Yeah,
like people thought it was an actual shooting from where we were.
I was like, dude, I'm in a news story.
You're in a mass casualty
event.
I was like, I'm in a fucking like crazy event. Like I'm here. This is insane. And then so we like got out of the fence. It was like there's a bunch of fences and train tracks and blah blah blah. We get out and we like ran to the car, I was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but when we got to the street, there was a girl who ran out to the street as well and was sobbing hysterically and was like, my friends got shot, and she was running alongside us for a good we were like 3 minutes.
This is not good.
So we were like, as cars were trying to pull up to go to this show, we were like, go the fuck home. Like, this is not chill to pull up to. But I don't know. We saw a bunch of videos from it the next day, and it just wasn't as crazy as like what we perceived it to be, but it was still pretty.
No,
there was still a guy shooting.
Were crazy, but like people just didn't leave, and the show kept going.
No, there was still a show. Yeah.
Because on the way home, Cheney was like kind of looking at like the Instagram like hashtags, and the show was still going on. So we're like, all right, well, I guess nothing really happened.
But then we found out. Sorry to interrupt you, but we found out that this was like unincorporated land. So anyone can kind of do whatever they want under there. Because
there's a video of like a cop showing up and getting like chased the fuck out.
Yeah, cops left. They pulled
underneath
up and
the
left.
bridge.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it was insane.
In Oakland.
There's little pockets of
unincorporated land.
Apparently,
it's just like it's like state land, I guess you could say.
Whoa.
But so that was pretty crazy.
So like, do you think like who was shooting out the fireworks? What if the whole thing was part of like a scheme to make it seem more edgy than it was? So, like we're gonna have a bunch of people shooting out fireworks, and then Todd, you're gonna drive your truck in there.
He's gonna drive through
the crowd.
He's gonna fire off some blanks.
Yeah.
And people are gonna come away from this show with a story that they will tell for the rest of their lives.
But we're the only people with the story. It seems it's like no one else I come across. I know like 3 other people who were at the show, and they don't.
What if it didn't actually happen? What if it was?
Yeah, I know.
Like
that's a parallel timeline.
Parallel timeline.
Yeah.
Could be. Why wouldn't it be?
I mean,
they fired off CERN how long ago?
Yeah. I mean, we're leaving 3-dimensional time anyways. We're like right smack dab into holographic time, man. All timelines that could have ever existed and will ever exist are actually existing now simultaneously.
We might, in our lifetime, experience the Ray Kurzweil technological singularity.
Yeah. Do you think so? I don't know.
We're gonna get really close
in our lifetime.
Whatever. I don't even care about the technical singularity. Like we are already singular beings.
Or a singularity event. Just what technological or not, some kind of singularity event.
Doesn't it stand to reason though that there's no like certain event that happens? It's like the advent of the internet, and it was a
process.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's just a process.
It's like kind of just like
because if there were
you thought
an
it was
event,
crazy because here, and then it keeps going.
It just
upwards.
If there were an event, it
exponential.
would scare people.
Yeah, that's
if there were an event,
Yeah.
but things just happen at a gradual.
I kind of I think about that sometimes. Like
we're probably not that special.
Well, also things just
We
don't
are-
work that
we
way.
are
would
though
exist in
pretty
that 0 point.
We are
singularity.
pretty special in the way that us as children, we grew up not being on our phones all the time. So this was something that was integrated.
Yeah, we're the last
integrated.
We had to be emotionally we had to get emotionally fucked up by relationships.
Yeah.
By
That's what I was
technology.
saying earlier,
and we
man.
had to play outside with like our neighbors and
ride bikes and shit.
Yeah.
There was no screen.
Make friends.
That's what I was saying earlier. I
Get
was
bullied in person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not online. It's
Wow.
actually
Yeah,
get
It
bullied.
was
Bullied in
cooler
person,
in
yeah.
person.
Trash
it was
can.
cooler in person.
Yeah, because you actually might get a little hyphy and actually hit the guy in the face, and then,
Yeah.
and then you're like, wow, actually, I had
It had much more of an
courage
impact.
for myself.
I didn't actually get bullied, by the way.
I did.
Did you?
I got
Yeah.
bullied for sure.
I got bullied.
It wasn't like
I
that.
got bullied
I guess
because I was
might
short.
have. Yeah, I
It
looked
had
like
been
I
the
looked
same
like
size
a girl.
since high
Really?
school. Yeah.
You were big then. If I had been your size when I was in high school, I'd have been stoked. I'd have been like,
I was probably
damn,
smaller.
huge.
Oh, really?
I was, yeah.
So you got bullied for being short?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That basically that. It was a weird thing. Like what? Like
Just that.
just that.
Yeah. Sorry that I
Yeah,
like.
that's all you got on
am
me.
biologically
But it's
short.
always from like one person. You know, it was this one guy who
Yeah.
just like made it his point. He was short too, which didn't make any sense. Now,
No, that
looking-
actually
looking
makes
back
way
on it.
that makes way more sense
Yeah.
because he was bullying you over something that he was insecure about. Which
Yeah,
is like,
that's little man syndrome in in a nutshell.
Were you bullying him back? Like,
No.
hey, you're short
No,
too.
because I was just a nice kid. Like I wasn't like a tough
He was
guy.
probably projecting his jealousy on you because Jared was like a little ladies man back in the day.
You were a short
little
stud.
diligent ladies man. So.
Short and studly.
And I know the kid. I know who you're talking about who bullied you. Didn't
Yeah.
I say some shit to him at some point?
SZ
Yeah.
are his initials.
Wait, so you guys knew each other like in high school?
We've known each other since like
Middle school. No, actually diapers.
diapers. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
we did. Our
We're
parents had us
basically
in
brothers from another mother.
yeah,
Like
That's
two
amazing.
different wombs.
Yeah.
Same kind of still brothers.
Same. Yeah.
yeah.
For sure.
We met fully in middle school, 6th grade.
But our moms did mommy and me together.
Yeah, we were babies in little
We didn't even
diapers
know it.
hanging out. But we were also
How
on
could we?
a baseball team.
That's amazing.
1 year
Oh
together,
yeah,
too.
and then we were on a baseball.
we did little
team.
league. We did little league 1 year.
and still didn't even connect.
We
as
didn't connect them.
friends.
And then he was at the bus stop. I overheard him talking about like, I want to get a guitar, man. I think I want to get like a Jaguar or a Jazzmaster or something.
Yeah, Fender.
And I was like, in my head, I was like, mental note, this kid's gonna get a fucking 7-string. And then, that was
because
like
he was
A 7-string?
He
How
had
did you
just
know
got
about
one.
those?
corn.
Okay.
Obviously.
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. Deftones.
Deftones wasn't
8-string.
They weren't on 7-strings at that time. That was White Pony era. They were still 6-string.
Okay, so they were 7-string in like 2000, 01.
I think maybe on the self-titled
0,000.
album.
0,000.
I don't even know if they did 7-strings on Saturday Night Wrist. I don't know. But I loved Deftones at that time, but that's how I know this. But they were not 7-string. It was Korn, and I think Limp Bizkit had a small run with 7-strings, even though he tuned to C sharp and then had the high string be like the two the same notes. But anyways, I was like, he was in my PE class too. So every day I would like find someone, because I was a goober in middle school, just like a total goofball. So I would find someone.
So you're not a goofball now.
No, man, it's actually it's gotten exponentially worse over the years. But I would find someone to jump over at PE. I would run out of the PE locker room. Everyone had their numbers they were sitting on. You know what I mean? Did you guys?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So and I
Naveen
would.
didn't really do school.
Yeah, I didn't go to school.
Whoa.
Not my thing.
Yeah,
Wow. No wonder you're such a prodigy.
not his thing.
Yeah, not my thing. Not my thing.
All right.
School, not my thing.
I want to hear that. I want to hear more about that. I'll finish my story about me and Jared, and then you can tell that your prodigy story. how you skirted the system and became who you are.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
No doubt.
When you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
All
Big
right.
respect on
Yeah.
that.
Tell that to all the kids.
Big respect. Yeah, if you think it's something stupid,
Kids out there, tell your mom you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
and
That's
she
what I
won't
did.
make you.
That's what I did. I told my mom, hey, Mom, school, not really my thing.
for
Trying to
fools.
not do this anymore.
so then what did you do?
So I did, Well, fortunately, I lived in Santa Cruz, and there's programs here to get out of school.
So you just did like homeschool shit?
Yeah, I did homeschool.
packets?
I did homeschool for a couple of years, and then I did kind of like a program to get your diploma early.
Okay, like a GED kind of.
Yeah. So I did that, and then after I did that, I went to Cabrillo for a little while, like a community college, and then honestly, after that, I joined Animosity, and then just hit the road. I was like, "Fuck it."
And the rest is history.
Hit the road. Wait,
No,
what was
I'm
the rest
legit.
of your story?
I'm an
then?
old
Chance?
school, dedicated to metal type person.
You told your mom at age 5, Mom, I want to play death metal.
Yeah, no,
and
I
she
was
was
like-
all right, Naveen.
I was like, my mom actually tells this story. Like, I told her, I was like, you know what, Mom? Don't worry. I don't expect to make money doing what I'm doing. You know, I just love doing it. So
That's what we told our parents too.
yeah,
parents
it's
too,
chill. You don't have to worry. I'm not like trying to make a ton of money.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
going to happen.
And we would practice at my house like
Oh, yeah.
3 times a week. You know what I mean? Just like practicing as much as we could.
In high school?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
As
Oh yeah.
Arkaik?
Yeah.
Wow.
As a death metal band, like
Wow.
in
For
my sister's old room.
Probably 7 years.
Yeah.
We
Wow.
practiced.
Even when we were graduated, my parents let us.
Even when like Arkaik was like looking for a drummer or like in a down slump, kind of nothing's really happening, we started other bands.
Yeah, that's how we met our buddy.
So like other kinds of music too.
Yeah, we started
Yeah.
like a psychedelic prog rock band for a while.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we would, if we didn't have shit to do, me and Jared would just go in the band room and then just jam. That's what kept me
Freestyle.
That's what kept me tight for the
Yeah.
longest time as a guitar player.
So
was
if you would jam with Jared, what would you do? Jared?
play drums.
Drums or guitar,
okay.
we would switch off.
We'd switch off. Yeah,
A word.
He would play drums, I play guitar, vice versa.
we would just make noise in that room for fucking hours, and my
Gotcha.
parents
Yeah.
would just literally just turn the TV up louder. Like bless my parents'
Yeah.
hearts.
Yeah, and we won
so much.
a PA from a showcase theater
showdown.
showdown.
Battle of the
They called
Bands.
it Battle
Oh,
of the
damn.
Bands, the showcase theater showdown,
And you had a PA.
and we won it.
We
from
won it. It
that.
was $500. We won it.
We bought a $500 PA.
A Carvin,
Dude,
a Carvin
that's
PA.
sick.
Hell yeah.
That is so sick.
That's where it all started.
And then we would just practice in that room and like
Carpet, layers of carpet on the
layer,
walls.
just gross carpet. We just
Packed.
nailed carpet to the wall.
Did it work?
It worked, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? How
Pretty
much
good.
did it
Pretty good.
soundproof it?
Well, I mean,
You could still tell there was a band out.
especially
like-
when we
Yeah.
started getting into triggers and fucking head.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, because we're like looking all into soundproofing in this new house that we're moving into, you know. So I'm like, what?
We're gonna build
Don't
like
actually
a
work.
Don't nail
wall.
carpet to the wall.
No, we're gonna put like 2x4s up along. Like we're gonna build an external wall to the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wall to the wall.
Something that you can like remove
Yeah.
like pretty easily.
Yep. That's what we're gonna do. 100%.
Yeah. And
We'll
then
see if it
don't let
works.
anyone who likes to dip spit on the carpet on the wall.
Oh God. You had
do
someone
that.
who did that.
Honestly, though, I do not see
did
us
it, I think.
leaving the
you
house
guys
that we're moving to
dipped and
anytime
spit.
soon.
We
Do you
used to
still
dip.
do that?
You used to dip too.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I
what
call
I
me.
said.
You
No, I
guys
said
dip?
we. That
What
was
got you
we.
into it though?
I don't know.
It
Just
was-
it was just around.
Live
Everyone-
in
everyone
Southern
did it.
California around a bunch of dirt bikers.
Everyone. Oh yeah, totally.
So wait, what brought you guys up here?
Different stuff.
Different stuff, yeah. Totally different.
Because you both moved up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd that happen?
Providence. I originally moved up here because
He moved up here before me. I was still in SoCal.
No, you were in Modesto when I moved up here.
No, you moved up with Skip.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
but
where
you were in
officially?
Modesto.
What is the official place that you're from?
Riverside County, a little tiny gated community called Canyon Lake.
Okay, so from there,
Sounds nice.
From there, we went all
nice.
over.
It is nice.
I was driving and
are
hanging
you guys
out with.
rich kids? Like
No,
Slipknot, or-
absolutely not.
No,
Okay.
I mean
Gated
middle,
community,
middle
though,
class.
that sounds pretty.
Canyon Lake
James
nice
was
to me.
poor and I was like middle class.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm not
Canyon
saying
Lake
he's
is
poor.
definitely
wow, you're really throwing him under the
got
bus.
mad rich. I was for sure poor, but my dad did his best. But he was, he was a a working man. But my dad moved to Canyon Lake in like the 70s and bought the house he was in the 70s.
He got in early, so it's probably worth a bunch of money.
Yeah, but because of the housing market crash, it went upside down.
Is he still there though?
No, hell no. Okay. They just moved to Tennessee. No, my dad lost the Canyon Lake house.
Wait, your dad lives in Tennessee too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Now.
sick. So you're definitely going to be visiting.
Let's get.
I might end up.
Chance.
I might flee this date too and end up.
I want Chance. I want to claim him. Let's get him over where we're
Tennessee.
Yeah, I got family in Tennessee.
I already just figured. Like I think I told you this last weekend.
Now you have no reason not to go.
When I met you, I was like, "There's no way this
Jared's
kid is
gonna move out there too." Just why?
I mean, honestly, one of the like biggest bummers was you guys. To be honest, that's like the only bummer is you and Shara and Chance
and Chase
and
Joel. But it's like.
But the thing is,
a few people. You know what I mean?
I was telling you guys this at your party. You know, I was like, my family. I know that they're my family, so we have to see each other. But you guys, it's like, you know,
you don't ever have to see us again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will for sure see you again. Our other best friend that we were talking about earlier, Mason, whose big brother got us into death metal, and it's like whenever we would make a new demo, we would show him. We'd be like, Chris, listen to this, and if he was like, it's shit. Keep trying. We'd be like,
"What do you do?" He would tell you if it was shitty.
Oh yeah, for sure. He was like, he's
still
the hugest music snob, but he was also like, you know, honest.
Does he like Arkaik now?
I
don't know.
I don't think so.
he's like hard to please.
No,
there are a lot of people like that.
Where Arkaik is now, if that's what we sounded like when he was in his death metal phase, like he probably would have liked it. But he's like, I showed him some of like Metamorphic Edition. He's like, it's like really, really good, but like, I'm just over death metal. You know what I mean? He's like trying to find the newest, wildest, obscurest, whatever stuff. You know what I mean? So he recognized that it was like good.
He still comes out to shows though.
Yeah.
Does he buy shirts? He doesn't buy merch.
I don't know. He's not. Our merch isn't his style.
You gotta have that guy though. You know, you gotta have.
But yeah, dude, no. Chris always supported. He'd always come to shows, and he would always be honest with us too, because he's like a fucking audiophile too. He's a huge music fan, so he would give us his music fan. Like opinion, critique. You know, like he's like, I know what you're going for. I know all the bands that you love because I gave you those CDs. Like, here's what I think. You know what I mean?
You're not doing it well.
Or yeah, or he was like, this is good. I like it, but
he's always been supportive.
But
and positive
I'm over.
I'm over.
He never.
Yeah.
I would know if he would have said something that's like.
But he wasn't a dick about it either. He was always like,
he was never a dick.
Like we would give him our demos that we recorded in somebody's fucking living room.
This was way early on
for $120. You know what I mean? We'd be like, Chris, what do you think? You know what I mean? He would he would give us honest feedback. You know what I mean?
You actually do want that person in your life.
It's kind of like my brother.
Yeah, no.
My brother's like, he's not gonna bullshit you at all. He's not gonna be like, damn, dude.
Those are the people who are they have the most coveted opinions.
Yeah, he's not gonna like pump me up like, damn, Naveen, you're so sick, you know, that kind of thing. It's not gonna happen.
But
so
also,
like, if he is ever like,
you need that.
You need that. But Chris also was a huge fan of what we were trying to do, so he knew what we were going for. So he could like his critique wasn't
100%.
It was good, you know, like honestly. It was,
that's how Sean is too.
Exactly.
It's like
because we grew up listening to music together. Yeah, so like we're into the same stuff.
That's cool. We had a friend's big brother. You actually had the big brother.
He's my little brother.
Oh, you're your little brother? Oh,
Navin's the big brother.
Oh,
but he's more picky than me. Yeah, so it's like.
He is for sure.
You know, it's like you show it to him. He's like, "Oh, it's pretty cool." It's like
he's also
that's how you know that it sucks.
He's also hugely into vinyl. So like, if you have a really good vinyl mix, he's all about it. He'll tell you about it.
Okay,
yeah, he's got a huge vinyl.
Which Sean did compliment our vinyl mix on our last album, which like meant more to me than almost anyone's opinion.
Yeah.
You know, because if he says
the
that
vinyl came out, and he's like, "Dude,
it
sounds amazing," and I was like, "Damn." I guess it must be
so
really sick.
There's like a vinyl mix and there's like a regular master mix.
Yeah, because a vinyl can only get so much sound because the grooves only go so far.
You can't like do the whole like brick wall like just fucking slam the fucker.
So it's different.
It has to be more dynamic.
Yeah, it is way more dynamic.
And you can only get so much bass and all kinds of shit because you only got so much room in the groove.
Totally. Yeah. Sometimes it's for the worse, man. But sometimes it's for the better. I think that
I want to hear a really shitty version of vinyl where it sounds really good like on Spotify, but it sounds really shitty on vinyl.
Yeah,
probably a lot. It's probably
that would be interesting to hear.
Yeah,
it's probably more bands than people would think because everyone's putting out a vinyl, but are people actually taking the time to do a vinyl?
I love that everybody's into vinyl now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It's super sick.
That's
I
a good
agree.
thing.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
Because
And tape.
and tape.
Yeah, tape is
tape
kind of
is a
coming
thing
back,
now.
right?
Yeah. It's always kind of been there, but
you're
it's
not ever gonna play it.
No.
It's just a
No, it's
NFT.
just to have it.
Yeah,
It's like a little NFT.
Yeah, I don't have a tape player, so
Me
I can't.
either.
I have like 2
I don't
tapes.
even have a
though.
vinyl player.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Do you
but I
have-
only own like 4 vinyls.
Okay, we have
You're
a
You're
vinyl.
gonna need to want to get a record player. You want one
Yeah,
for sure.
it's.
I
Fun.
do.
We'll go listen to a record after this podcast.
It's just kind of tight to have the record player out there, and it's attached to nothing else. Like you can
It's
just
great.
throw, and it's the
great.
type of thing like you want to drink a coffee because we have a new espresso machine, right? So you want to you want to get an espresso,
Oh, you
and
just
you want to
hit-
go and drink
Maybe
coffee.
This is This
You
is
just-
And
so.
listen to
This
the
is
record
so
player.
first world right now.
world.
You
Yeah.
It's a good
you
time.
just want to have an espresso and listen to your
listen to your vinyl.
Your
That's like
What?
I brought some gifts.
This was
Are
topic
you
3.
serious?
You said espresso.
Are you
I was like, you
serious?
guys are getting into coffee.
Oh
I wanted
shit!
to give you some
My
gifts.
man.
Oh my god!
Archaic.
Dude,
like,
Put
I
that
can't
up on
wait
the vid.
to take a picture of
Post
this.
that up on the there it is.
Don't get it with me because my nails need to be done.
I can't
Coffee.
do my extreme zoom in.
Dude, that
face
is such a cool packaging as well.
Yeah, it's called Grindcore Coffee.
Holy
Oh, shit.
shit. Is it full bean?
Full bean.
Oh,
bean,
we're
baby.
going to drink some of that tomorrow. So when I'm
100%.
posting stories off of that, y'all are going to know I'm all,
Get some,
roast.
dude. Good idea.
The supernal flame.
I'm going to be all effed up off of that
So
tomorrow.
wait, where does this come from? What is it? What,
This
what's
company
the
called
Let me
Grindcore
see
Coffee.
that. What does it smell like? Yeah. Does it smell good?
Well, hey,
Smells
I
like
know
coffee.
this guy. He's from another band. One of your members.
Well,
Looks
there's a band
Hey.
there's a band picture on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What bands have all of your members of your
Yeah,
band been in?
you got some mix going on here.
Well, Nathan's in Singularity and Alex is
Oh,
in.
wait, he's in Singularity. Okay,
Yeah.
wait, dude, hold on. Okay, Singularity was like the first like local band that Entheos played it with that I was just like,
From
this
Arizona.
band is
Yep.
fucking amazing.
Sick.
Amazing.
Keyboards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super sick.
Crazy, amazing. Okay, so Nathan is this guy.
Yeah. Chris is the other guy on the left.
That one.
Yeah, Chris. I know that guy.
Yeah. He's from Reno. He's a very talented man. He's no longer with us in the band. He's got so many riffs.
For sure. Who's
Stupid.
the guy on the right?
That's Alex. He has a band called Desiderium. They just released a new album. That's his solo project.
Oh, sick.
He's a monster.
He's
a
drummer.
creative monster.
Really?
Yeah.
He's still in
And-
the band.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like me, Nathan, and Alex are the core members now because we realize, like, you know, until you find somebody who's going to go
You're good.
150% in, or even just like actual 100%,
Yeah.
then it's hard to, like, it's probably not a good idea to consider them
A
band
member.
member.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for us to function and write music, we have guitar, drums, and vocals. Alex also plays bass. There's also many bass players out there. Malcolm Pugh did bass on our new album.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's sick about Malcolm. He's like, I'll just fucking do it.
Well, I think
Get it done.
Send it
Malcolm,
over. Yeah, get it done.
Malcolm, I'm pretty sure was a bass player
He was.
first and foremost.
Yeah, I didn't know that. We tried to get by like, oh, we'll just program the bass, you know,
Yeah.
to get that underlying, you know,
We're
low
Bass
tone.
Yeah.
frequency.
He's like,
Yeah.
no, I'll just record it. And then he recorded everything in like a day.
Yeah.
Like,
That's actually
per song,
important
which
to
is
have a
really
bass
hard.
player. It's important to have a bassist.
It is live. But as a functioning band,
I
we
think
actually
that-
realize that we don't need a bass player to write music.
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel like it's okay. I don't want to say it's the opposite because I don't feel like you shouldn't have a bass player live, but I do think that bass players are kind of important
yeah,
in music.
bass players can be.
In music,
Well,
they
yeah,
can be
crazy.
like
send
dude.
one to my house,
Yeah.
114 College Road, Watsonville.
Yeah, I
Perfect
get
bass
it, dude.
player, and I'll take him.
yeah, for sure.
Because it's
for
the
sure.
same for us, but like, we just so happen to be involved with a dude who's crazy. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
It's a lot
Just
going
the
on
best
there.
in the biz.
Yeah, it's a lot going on there. It adds a whole nother dimension.
But it doesn't stop there. I brought some other stuff.
Oh,
shit.
shit. Gifts. All right,
What?
we got some gifts for you guys, too, by the way.
That's a flag for the new
Dude, that's
home.
awesome.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's sick.
My man, dude, love it.
I want to open it, but dude, I love these flag packages. You know what I mean?
What size shirt do you wear?
Large or extra large?
Large.
My
Long
man.
sleeve.
Okay.
Dude, this is so sick.
Get some.
A small.
Yes.
Figured that.
This is why
That
we
is
did
what
the
I want, thank you.
podcast, to get free swag.
That is why we did it.
The archaic shit too is on
Dude,
point.
that is
some
so
bottle
sick.
openers.
Okay, love that.
What?
Love that.
I love
that.
practical.
Some
merch.
So for you guys who are
Bottle
not
openers.
watching, Jared's straight up hooking us up with a bunch of fucking
Dude,
gifts.
Jared,
Get
you
some merch.
this merch
baby.
is some of the sickest stuff. This
I love
flag
it.
is so sick. It's so
That
geeky.
artist, I like struck
very
gold
Geiger.
with the artist that did
Giger.
this merch. It's very Geiger.
Giger.
It's very
I thought it was Geiger too. Watch the
Giger.
fucking guy's
Giger.
documentary.
It's
His name is Giger.
Oh, shit.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
it sucks.
So it's very Giger.
But you know what else I
a
love
bummer.
is practical merch. Practical merch is actually very important.
All right,
Gotta love a
Alright,
good bottle opener for when you're trying to drink.
That's right.
I've also heard
We'll
it
do
called
it.
functional merch.
Oh,
Functional
functional merch.
merch.
Yeah.
People will buy functional
Oh,
merch.
I'm like
That's a
so
low
about
key
this. This
tip.
is going on my keychain. End of story.
I think I got mine.
Same Z.
Yeah, Chance got his. This is a prototype. This is where it all came from. Shout out Maro. Maro Martinez made us these prototype ones. And I was like, that's
Let me
a
see
good
that.
fucking idea.
It's the OG.
Yeah,
It's the OG joint.
Oh
right
shit!
Here.
I think I've seen this one
So
before.
wait, where do people
yeah.
pick these up at? Arkaik.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go
Dang.
to
Oh, you got a new logo.
go.archaicband.com.
You got
Oh yeah,
a
that's
new
the
logo.
original logo. That's right. Oh
Wait.
man.
This is super
Arkaik
sick.
started in
Super sick.
04.
04.
Yeah, 04, high school.
Whoa, dude.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy that you were
That
a
was
band.
just me and Chance though. The whole time it's like the most consistent thing has been me and Chance.
Yeah.
Chance, after he stopped playing guitar, he was still, we were still
He's
we did
bailed on you.
concept
dude.
albums.
Bailed on you, man.
Well, so
He's-
what is
he's
the
my
concept? What are
soundboard.
the concepts?
I'm a dick.
Like what are you guys writing about?
It's a concept album about a character named Cyrix.
Wait, which album is a concept album?
It started with our second album, and every single album since our second album is following the story of this character that we created on Metamorphic Ignition that's going through this super next level hero's journey and doing his thing and growing.
It's a long sleeve.
It's a long
Sick.
What's
story.
the journey? What's the story?
Well,
Just tell me.
Well, it's always the same, right? The hero gets called to an adventure, and then along the way, he resists, and then eventually gets pulled into the story, and then he meets mentors, and then he has a death experience that's not a real death, and he comes back
and he comes back with new knowledge, overcoming
as an
what
evolved
Sounds familiar.
version
Yeah.
of himself.
Sounds familiar.
In
Yeah.
every story,
Sounds like
it's-
somebody I know.
It's all
Every
of
human,
us.
every
we
human.
all do it. It's the
But
human spiral.
to succinctly put the whole story into kind of perspective, it's about a character named Cyrix who lives in this totalitarian realm, and he got so disillusioned with it that he tried to kill himself by carving prayers on his flesh and lighting himself on fire. And in that near-death experience, he met archetypal entities that embodied all the things that he was running from, and then he ended up having a oceanic experience and meeting the creator of his multiverse, coming back from that as
An octopus.
yeah, the omnipus. He came back from that the wounded healer, having overcome all his fears and the things that held him back in his waking life. He is now ready to take on the issues at hand in the realm that he's in, which the whole journey is based on all these different archetypal characters. So there's Cyrix, there's a divine feminine character named Nemethia.
My dog's name,
His dog's name,
Yeah.
Nemi.
Nemi. And
Alright.
The best dog.
Yeah.
Nemi is the best dog and the
It's a
most
good dog.
cuddliest dog.
she's a good girl.
There's Nemethia.
There's Nemethia. There's Khalifar, who is the tyrannical leader and overlord of all the multidimensional realms. There's an army of interdimensional dark shamans known as the Fleshwalkers that do the bidding of Khalifar. And that realm is actually part of a 7 system realm that kind of represent the chakra system. And Caulifar can go through each realm because there's a series of stargates that are unavailable to those who haven't been awakened to the multidimensional self. But Caulifar can use the power from a oracle named Pythina to get through the realms to kind of control them all. But most of the people in each realm don't know that the other realms exist because those stargates have been closed off for eons. But what Cyrix is doing is going through each realm, and each realm has its own issues, and through his hero's journey in each realm, he's transmuting those issues and reawakening the stargates. And so that's pretty much kind of the whole gist of the story from Metamorphic Ignition to the new album, which is 4 albums.
So Metamorphic Ignition was an astral sort of,
near-death experience. Near-death experience.
Okay.
And then Lucid Dawn was him waking up going, oh, maybe I have a purpose. And then kind of doing like a didn't win the war but won the battle. And then Nemethia is when he meets all these co-characters that help him train him up for this whole next trilogy that we're starting with, the album that we're going to release next year.
Yeah.
Have you guys thought about writing a book with all of the stuff, with all of these characters and all of the storylines?
It can take many forms. Like it can take a comic book form.
I think a graphic novel.
Graphic novel.
I think I've always wanted to have a graphic novel with this story.
Do you guys know that band Carnifex?
Yeah.
Okay, so their vocalist Scott made a graphic novel that we have. We talked to him about it. What's the name of it?
Awesome.
God, what's the name of it?
I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's about a guy who works at a what's it called? An undertaker type of situation.
A crematorium. A morgue. Yeah.
There we go.
But it's really cool, like just seeing it in the flesh, seeing it all happen. And I think like what you guys are saying would be an awesome graphic novel.
Yeah, it'd be really sick.
If you found a
But with graphic novels, I feel like you can't say whole.
It's very hard to. Yeah. It's very hard to
super descriptive.
Take the stories that we tell in each song of the album.
I think if it was a mixture though, I think we could do it. I've always saw it as a mixture of a graphic novel and like a poetry book. Take a graphic novel and mix it with like Saul Williams Said the Shotgun to the Head, right? So the lyrics tell the story. That's what the lyrics do.
Yeah.
While also being like multi-layered with having the themes that we like to imbue in our music and like whatever it is that the message we're trying to convey. We write the lyrics to be cryptic enough to be able to tell a story, but also be able to glean your own like thing from it, but also
interpret.
That would be
yourself.
So awesome because even a lot of people who like are gonna listen to the music won't ever absorb that part of the story.
This all started from chance, from the Metamorphic Ignition days when you wrote. We're like, all right, we're gonna have 8 songs or 9, 10 songs, and then you wrote every song title, and then like manically wrote all of it within a few days, all of the lyrics. For Metamorphic Ignition. Yeah. Like almost in a fever dream.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I've got it all written out, song by song, and it still works so well. Like the timeline of the story and the whole thing, like it still works really well. That was all from you in a very short period of time.
Yeah. Well, I was working at a high school as a campus supervisor, and most of my shift would be in the senior parking lot in my car, like just watching people come in and out the gate, and there was shit for me to do. So I was like listening to Mars Volta, like Francis the Mute, and like just studying those lyrics. I was reading this book called Magica by Clive Barker.
We were very into the Mars Volta at the time.
Yeah, I still
for sure, both of us. We were just falling in love.
Just fucking, obsessed with Cedric. But I was also reading this book called Magica by this dude, Clive Barker. So if you ever saw the Hellraiser movies,
yes.
So
yes.
Clive Barker wrote those movies, but the dude also has a ton of books out that are fucking badass. But one of the dopest books you'll ever read, if you ever get the chance to, is called Magica by Clive Barker. And it's basically the story the Cyrix story, but a different story, but it's basically the same shit. So I was reading Magica, just totally like, dude, I want to write a story like that. I think would be a badass concept album for us. And we always wanted to be a little bit different than all the other bands. We weren't into gore, we weren't into Satanism or whatever. We wanted to be like just different, And so we were like, let's put and our first album was like a psychedelic fucking vision quest, because
And it was also like 4 other songs, 4 old songs plus 4 new songs, kind of delving in the territory of what we're doing, philosophical, sort of esoteric sort of writings. And then, you know, that had like little concepts, like each song had a little kind of story, but it wasn't fully connected between every song.
And the cool thing with a concept album is there's so much stuff you can put. I always saw it as like a potential graphic novel, music video ideas. Like if you're telling a story, you've got so much more content to work with when it comes to the creative aspect. You know, like
you're creating
merch
a world.
ideas. You're creating a world. Merch ideas. Like this song is about this and these characters, and like we could put that on merch. It just gives you a lot to work with.
Totally.
And I've always been an avid reader. I love fucking reading. I love movies and cinema, and I love storytelling, and I love the things that you can do with storytelling. You can tell a cool story. You can tell an allegory that has like meaning and some sort of like point to convey. You know what I mean? You can help lead people to certain like understandings or I don't know, whatever like it is that you're into spiritually or philosophically. You can also overlay that. You can, like, the thing about storytelling is it's multi-layered. You can just tell a story that's entertaining. You can tell a story that's entertaining but also has some kind of meaning. You can tell a story that's entertaining and has some kind of meaning but also leads people to their own realizations. Like, storytelling is how humans have evolved. That's the main mechanism for us to understand reality.
Very important. Very important.
And so you can do that with music, you know, and art. And we've always wanted to do
country
that.
music.
Yeah. I think all music kind of gives you
music.
a feeling of where the person's at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no
it
matter
takes
what.
you there. It takes you to a place. This is something that like blew my mind the first time I heard it. Andrea Stolpe. She's a like coach for songwriters and stuff. Works with some of the best. She talks about this like 5 senses of songwriting. So what did it smell like? What did it feel like? What did it like all go through all your senses and use that to inform your lyrics?
Yeah.
So that it takes you to a place. It smelled like sunshine and
which can also be used in storytelling. I mean, that's like huge, like going through all of those senses and going through the descriptors of storytelling. I mean, that can fill up like an entire chapter.
Yeah,
right?
the
Just
5
going
senses.
Yeah, the
It
best, the
brings
best
you
writers,
to a certain place.
The best writers
absolutely.
always encompass the whole experience.
Because the best writers are essentially transmitting you into that place.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
you are living in the story. If you aren't living in a story, then it's not a good book.
Exactly, yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So that's where we started at. And then we figured we could take, it also would give us lyrical content. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, it's just an infinite well.
Yeah, it creates
yeah.
an entire universe for your band that's like, you know, it's come and be a part of the Arkaik universe. Like, this
Exactly.
is what you're going to get. And I think that that's really awesome. Like,
I call it Avatar meets the Matrix.
yeah. Like,
I love
makes
The Matrix is one of the best movies.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
For
there's
sure.
a new
And there's the
Matrix
Neo
coming
and-
out this year.
yeah, Matrix 4 is coming out. We'll
Right,
see.
love it.
We've
I
already
love
got
it.
the original Matrix.
And we got Dune too, where like Arkaik is very Dune, like kind of the same chord.
Yeah.
Very,
Makes
like,
sense.
you know, we're very, like, into, like, David Lynch and Dune and sci-fi.
Same.
And
But I feel like I grasp it in a different way. But I love that you guys do that because it's just, you know, it's just a universe to
It's just one
behold.
thing next.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you like the music. Cool.
Yeah, and then
There's
you can
something
grasp onto
else
that.
next after that.
yeah, it just
Once
gives
you
more
like the
people
music.
stuff to check
Exactly.
out and get into.
Totally.
You know?
Totally.
Like, and also, we try to keep it cryptic enough to that where if you like, you might not even get any of that. You might like.
But the
read
whole
our-
thing too is to see yourself as the main character.
Right.
Because most of the time when you watch movies, you read books, you're kind of in that person's spot.
I love that in lyrical content. I've always loved that. Like when you're seeing it firsthand, it uses the word I a lot.
Yeah.
And I just love that kind of lyric writing, no matter if it's in storytelling or in, you know, not really, maybe it's storytelling in one song in a different way. That's not like in the sci-fi kind of way that you guys are talking about. But I really enjoy that in lyrical content, period. Just being able to put myself in
that situation.
those shoes, and that's how I write too.
Who are some of your favorite lyricists or like lyric writers? Like who inspired you?
Yeah, like
my
what
favorite
inspires
lyricist,
you?
Jacob Bannon, Anthony Green. We were talking about Purity Ring. What's her name?
Oh yeah, the chick from Purity Ring.
She's great.
Her lyrics are the best. That's why that.
She reminds me of like a
Purity
Cedric.
Ring's great. The music.
She's great.
It's kind of low key. It's kind of like
It's vibey, kind of bassy.
Yeah, I think her
low-key
name is
vibey.
Megan.
Megan, yeah.
Something.
but the lyrics are all like
Oh, they're so
You know.
dark
Yeah.
and weird. They're the coolest word mashes. They like
Yeah.
"Oh dear," like when she's like,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh, but dear, the sky is low," but like the song's called "Oh, but dear."
Totally.
She's like a lot of her stuff really reminded me of like Cedric, like from Mars Volta. Like,
That, yeah,
they were
I
like
can
weird
totally
word
see that.
concoctions
Yeah.
and really neat storytelling about really dark shit. Like that.
the only thing
Yeah.
that sucks about that is that when you make up a lot of weird shit that nobody can understand,
Metamorphic Nation.
nobody understands it.
Yeah, but then again, there are small passages that can be really catchy. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah,
Some
you
people
can
really,
balance it.
But I
some people
think-
really thrive on making like extensively long, drawn out lyrical things. But there are people who thrive on like the one liner.
No, but like you say that, but I
Well, that's the hook.
but people
Well, but
end
it's
up
not
getting
always
it.
the hook. Sometimes it's just the verse, and it's just like one liners in the verse being spit constantly.
But the people that get it will get it. You know, like Sting walks crushed in hobbled sway. Like
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
memorized
Like, I
Mars
got-
Volta lyrics because I thought they were fucking dope. You know what I mean?
Capillary's hint of red.
Which seemed totally nonsensical.
Yeah.
I mean,
or like the Purity Ring shit. You know, like
Yeah.
"Oh, but dear, the sky is low."
a Kilo Quiche is another.
I
person.
honestly love that shit because I don't like lyrics to really make a lot of sense. I like when
lyrics
they,
to be vague in
Yeah,
a way,
me
but I
too.
like them to be poetic and make some kind
I
of
don't like when
subtle
you're
sense.
saying, "Hey, I went down and sat on the back of the truck."
Or like,
Yeah.
I sat
I'm,
down to
I'm
say,
bitching
You
about
know,
a
I-
relationship
You wanna-
that's not
But
working.
on the
you know?
other hand, I totally appreciate that kind of lyric because it's something I would never do. And I want to know that exists and I want to see that happen in order to do what I do. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of need all
course.
of these things to happen.
you gotta appreciate all of
Sure,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Or
dig it.
Jeremy Baum, Touche Amore. He's one of my favorite lyricists. You guys know who he is?
No.
Who are some of your favorite lyricists?
Chance?
Bjorn Strid. I always thought that.
Yeah.
Chance, take it away.
Who
Take
is
it
that?
away. The guy from
If I
Soilwork.
say
Soilwork?
mine,
Okay,
nobody will
yeah.
know.
That's. Are you
I
sure?
mean, you didn't know who I said.
Graham Smith.
Oh yeah.
Who's that?
Kleenex Girl Wonder.
Yeah, this random band, Kleenex Girl Wonder.
Check them out though; they will blow your fucking mind.
Okay.
And the lyrics are the best.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
They're like literally the funniest, quirkiest
They're like
lyrics.
See,
They're
I'm
like
not,
they're
I'm
like
not
schizophrenic.
mostly into like funny, quirky lyrics.
But dude, it's
but
the
I'm
most
open to it.
schizophrenic stream of thought, brilliant. Like as a
Yeah.
vocal writer or maybe
But
a
it's all
literature
about the
fan,
rhyming
Yeah.
too.
I
you
like
can't
weird
look at it
rhymes.
solely
Kleenex
on
Girl
This
Wonder?
kid, this
For
guy
sure.
right here is savant level. Like his
Yeah.
like
Kleenex Girl
he's
Wonder.
like the Beethoven of what he does.
That's that's awesome.
The music is a little mediocre, but like he makes up for it with the just
see what song he has. And it's all super shitty too. I mean, this is really shitty. This is probably like he does some of his older
Honestly,
albums.
Bandcamp is awesome though.
yeah.
I'll
Shout
show
out
you
to
a song.
Bandcamp.
I'll show you a song that's like literally genius.
Here, which one?
Scroll down. Scroll down.
But
it's a lot of the time people who write songs like this are my favorite lyricists.
Oh, dude, you
know,
will
where
you
it's
will
like
love
like
his lyrics.
ba-da-na-na-na-na.
No, but the dude is like he's
one?
brilliant.
Yeah.
His wordplay is brilliant. He's like if Eminem, the guy from the Cars, and
This one? Is it- we wanna hear this one?
No.
Dude, I would say
What
yeah.
song do you want to hear, bro?
irreverent.
Neil Young is also one of my dude. I have so many
Passion.
favorite
Yeah.
lyricists. That's the thing. If you ask me to name my favorite lyricists, it's like there's so
Now
many
pull up the lyrics. Hit that
clever lyricists.
Hit the lyrics button too.
Oh, he put the lyrics on his shit.
Yeah. But you get dude.
Yeah,
his
and I
wordplay
found
is
out about the
genius.
song
I-
because
I-
somebody
That's a
made a
lot
remix of
That's
it
a lot
on
going
an
on
Ill
there.
Gates remix.
Yeah.
Or on an
Gates dropped it.
Drop. And I was like, what are these lyrics? And
Oh, really?
I found
There's
the
a
guy
lot of them,
from
though,
the
by the way.
lyrics.
Yeah. No,
I'm reading
dude,
a
his
few
song-
of the lyrics and
his
I like them.
his songwriting
Yeah,
is
there's a
like
lot.
his songwriting has to encompass his lyrics. That's
It's always like a person who sounds like this who is my favorite lyricist.
This would make sense to me.
It's
a guy
not even
who,
about the music.
I
Like,
listen to so
it's
much,
about the lyrics.
but a lot of like indie music has really great lyrical content. Like
this isn't even indie. This is like a one-off dude. That
I would
if you
hear
know
this
about
and
him,
call it indie music though. How is this not indie music?
It's indie music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Who's Gonna Marry Me Now? or carry me out or stare me down.
Yeah, this sounds like something I would listen to for sure.
Like Innocence, Try Prison.
It kind of sounds like Pin Back. 'Cause I'm stupid. You guys ever heard Pin Back?
No, it's called I'm Stupid.
No, I'm stupid. I have no frame of reference.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
This is like one of those one-off
The chorus
groups,
is
though.
really what gets you, and that's my love for choruses. Like, have a chorus in your fucking song.
I love choruses.
Oh, yeah, you have to have a chorus.
Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah.
Ben Gibbard is one of my favorite lyricists, if we're going to talk about it.
I like Death Cab.
And Postal Service, which I like more than Death Cab. Probably.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Does it serve its worthless purpose, or will you heed your own advice? If you wanna make it work, it's
This sounds like something I would listen to.
So how did you find this, Jared?
Through a random
Mixtape.
Ill Gates.
Yeah, this DJ Ill Gates.
Yeah.
I think it was this
Somebody
song. Was
did
it
a
this song?
reggae version of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And the lyrics were
Yeah,
genius.
I was like,
so like
these things are nice, but it's not worth it.
yeah, like the lyrics
I
are
mean,
great.
You're speaking my dude. This is like all my favorite lyrical content is
Yeah.
like this.
And
kind
it's
of
funny
music.
that like when they took it out of the context.
Joni
of-
Mitchell.
Oh yeah, Joni Mitchell's
Dude,
great.
I mean,
I think that's like the root of this kind of music.
yeah, it's like
Joni Mitchell.
folk.
It's very folky.
Yes, it's like
He's
Folky
kind of got
story.
like,
weird,
Storytelling.
clever. It's clever.
But it's not Dylan style storytelling. It's not like
Well,
went on down to the
no, it's like it's his whole thing. One of his biggest things is wordplay. Like
yeah.
like his wordplay is genius. Like pull him up. Let's read. I want to read the lyrics now.
All right.
Because like no one was you can't hear it with the song playing, but like go back down, and it's like light cigarette, light ribbons in red light district where they intersect like rhythms. You look right light through a prism. You want to split the difference? If only the right schism. Elegance takes precision. Catch flies with simple syrup. Sacrifice pure vision. Truth is a nervous system balanced on the precipice of perfect wisdom. Oh, who's gonna marry me now, or carry me out, or stare me down? Downstairs, the flare's letting out, the affair's getting loud. Like it's all just like kind of irreverent wordplay that like kind of follows a
Yeah.
theme, but doesn't. But it's
Yeah.
also like
The
stream
rhyme
of consciousness.
schemes,
But
rhyme
you
schemes where
can
you're
like
how
create a
would you
theme in your
rhyme-
head. You can take all of those things and they don't seem like too far off from the
No,
line
it's like the
before them.
perfect. It's the perfect mixture of stream of consciousness and like a theme that it follows.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his ability to rhyme something that's like in the middle of the phrase over and over again until he gets to the rhyme at the end of the phrase.
Yeah.
That he can still rhyme over and over again.
That's like
Right.
what it's like. That's where he reminds me of Eminem. You know, he's like it's like rhyming. It's like rhyming words in the beginning of the phrase, in the middle of the phrase, and then not that section of the phrase, and then like at the end of the phrase. You know,
Totally.
Should we get a chance to freestyle right now?
Yeah, Chance freestyle. We should probably
no,
send.
dude.
This is our longest
Yeah, we're
podcast
at
ever.
3:20.
Let's do a send off. Chance.
they wanted me to. I freestyled on the last one, so if it sucks, you guys can
You wanna-
cut it off.
I don't know.
We're not
Should there
gonna
be a
cut
beat?
it.
Yeah,
not
I could
gonna
do a
suck.
beat. A beat would be cool.
Should there be a beat?
Yeah, it would help.
Or
Don't
I
you-
could beat.
That's not a beat.
I could beatbox.
That's all I
I'll
got.
beatbox.
That's all I
Here,
got.
I'll beatbox.
No, we can
All right,
YouTube
just
the
beat
beat.
it.
Here we go. Ready?
Bud Light Seltzer, kicking it with the homies. Yeah, I'm not Peltzer. You guys just know me. It's like we known each other forever. Hanging out, listen to music, that's clever. Yo, what are you into? What do you like? We could talk about that shit like all fucking night. Put on the headphones and speak into the mic. When I speak it with my friends, I speak it really right, but it's not left. The treble cleft. Yeah. What did you get into when you were in middle school? What did you look like when you were a little fool? Did you get beat up and did you get bullied? Can we get the conversation on the pulley? What's coming up next? What's the new topic? Yeah, I'm just freestyling right fucking off it. Off the noggin. You know I just be talking. But that's okay and that's alright. Cause I'm hanging out with the KoperCrabb all bugger night. She's lighting up the spliff, putting that shit right up to her lips. I got headphones. No, hell no. That shit'll give me the terror. I get too high. I don't know where I am. But I know that I'm with good friends and people that I care about.
KoperCrabb.
On KoperCrabb.
on KoperCrabb. KoperCrabb. KoperCrabb.
There you go.
Roll
dude.
it out.
Woo!
Have a good week, you guys.
Yeah, man.
Jared
Dude,
Christianson,
that's what I'm talking
Chance
about.
Strickland.
That was sick.
It's been fun, you guys. I can't
times.
believe it's been 3 hours.
Hell yeah.
It felt like 1 second.
I know.
Fun shit.
Dude, y'all roll. Love you guys, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.